Greetings, chat. Thanks for being here. Thank you for letting me yell at you at my leisure. I intend to do so often tonight. I'm very frustrated. We're so late. I'm terribly annoyed, but actually, I'm also happy. So yeah, deal with that juxtaposition. I'm very happy because we're talking about a Phil Diaz book, and yeah, it's gonna be a chill time. You know, there's not a lot of pressure. Phil's a cool guy. Been around the scene for a while. Got too many friends. Too many damn friends. I wish he had more enemies. Why doesn't he have more enemies? Does Phil Diaz have any enemies? Can you guys think of one? No, I'm not trying to go there. But let's try to get a panel together for this guy. Everybody loves him, and it's hard. It's hard to find people to give objective opinions for such a well-loved guy. But you know, I did my best. I found a couple of guys. They're willing to betray their friendship to Phil Diaz, throw him under the bus, tear his book apart. Of course, I'm betraying them as they sit and seethe in the back room. Yeah, knowing that I called them out for daring to appear on the show to rag on Phil in his book. His book, of course, is Slumber that we're talking about today. We're gonna have a good time, guys. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. We're all having fun. We got Snugs in the chat. He says, "Greetings, gents and gentettes." Oh, we're going there now. We got the female penis. Is that the deal here, gentettes? We don't need any of that. We're moving away from that. That's become passé, Snugs. Yeah, that time is done. Aldous is here. He's shouting out Snugs, of course. He's going to be giving Phil a good grilling in the stream, so look forward to that. We got Amit. Oh, haven't seen Amit in a while. Good to see you around, Amit. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, good to see you too, buddy. All right, let's bring on the people who will judge and execute Phil Diaz. Let's start off with his, the man wanting to get a piece of Phil the most, the one who really can't wait to drive Phil into the ground as they talk about Slumber. Please welcome
when the
Dillard
undead
Draws.
is in your head. What's going on? Well,
what's going on, Dillard? I haven't seen you in like so long.
For those of you who haven't been paying attention, I actually haven't been streaming for some months now.
Yeah. You've been tending to the horses.
That's I had a little personal issue with my drawing stuffs, but I focused on my other gig. I don't know if you know this or not. I have a backyard nursery.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
had a failed crop of marigolds, but now we're back on track.
Oh, good on you. That's how you do it. All right. Speaking of back on track, let's get this train wreck back on track. We need a conductor. We need somebody responsible. He's gonna lead the way. Please welcome Aldous.
What?
Aldous, you're in charge.
Oh shit! Well, it's all downhill from here, folks.
Yeah.
No, and as I was just saying in the back room to Brian after Dillard left, you know what shocks me is I've been doing these shows with you, Well Read, for almost 4 years now, and you still have yet to update the couch in the green room. It's still sticky. At least wipe it down.
I don't know. The smell has like sentimental value. Am I allowed to say that?
No.
All right. Well, speaking of something with a lot of sentimental value and smells, please welcome the man who never sings happy birthday, Badass Mofo.
What up, everybody? Thanks for having me, gentlemen. Greatly appreciated. And Phil, you're lurking and jerking. We coming for you.
I'm already getting kick requests. I need to actually give.
Is that your actual handle now, Badass?
No, that's just what I put in there.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank God.
Yeah, you can actually do that, like in StreamYards. But yes, I am Brian Christgau. People often mispronounce the last name, but it is pronounced Christgau.
I have a massive backlog, but I do have Six Gun Gorilla, on that stack for review. Right.
Oh,
so
I hope you get a kick out of it.
We've done one.
like everybody who reads it seems to really like it. So you know, you don't know if your stuff is going to click with people or not. But I've been like super blessed and lucky that people seem to really get a kick out of it. So I hope at the very least you don't find it a chore to get through.
No, we did one, and it was highly recommended when we did it then too. So I expect people are gonna respond favorably.
Yeah, and the new shit, volume 2 should be shit. Print files are done, and we'll hopefully be going to the printer later this month. So fingers crossed. I'm hoping to get people volume 2, The Great Silence, in October.
Do you want to?
I did enjoy it, Brian. I have to say, I own the first issue of Six Gun. The thing that got me though, and we've talked about this before, is I'm a fan of the pulp, and when I went to your book, it had no connection. It's just in essence, basically, and that for me it took me like probably the first read through, and I'm like, this is its own thing. Like I don't get it. Then I read it and like, oh, it's just a standalone. But it was weird you were using a public domain pulp that has some notoriety and not connected to it. That was a little bit of but I'm one of like 5 people under 80 that know of the pulp.
Right. But here's the thing that's interesting. The pulp was not available when I wrote the original story. Everything just kind of comes as original, just really the title and the basic concept of a gorilla in the Old West trying to avenge his adopted father. That's all me, because when I saw that there was a story called Six Gun Gorilla, I was like, I need to read this yesterday. And then I discovered that there were 2 copies left. It was published in 1939 in a pulp magazine called Wizard. And it was like, a pulp magazine for little boys, which a lot of them were. And the story actually has no author credited. So nobody knows even who wrote that original story. And there were 2 copies, and they were under lock and key in a museum in London. And so I did my comics, Cy Spurrier did his, and then this pulp scholar, I wish I could remember his name because he deserves kudos for this. He went to that museum and asked them, like, yo, is it cool if I scan one of these? And they were like, sure. They obliged him, and he scanned the original story with the original illustrations, I might add to you. And people can find that online as a free PDF.
Well, that's great, Brian.
Yep.
So,
and actually, the author is
the guy's name was actually Phil Diaz. That's
yeah. And this little boy talk.
Yeah, no,
it's not that kind of stream.
So don't feel shy about telling me to shut the fuck up.
The author is most likely known as Fred Davis, who was a very prolific pulp author.
Really?
Yep.
No shit. I did not know that. Shit. Damn, you know your shit, son.
I do.
Everybody learning every single day. That's the way to live, guys.
New shit every day, boy.
Yeah. Same shit, different day. Sometimes there's new shit, though.
Sometimes there is new shit.
All right, speaking of new shit, we got Psycho Slumber.
Yes.
This is not shit. I have it on good authority. But maybe you all disagree.
No, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the heck out of it. I should say, full disclosure, Adam is a friend of mine. We did another book together called The Kill Journal.
Oh, let me
the Finch Files.
Screen that.
These were this is a collective version of The Kill Journal. Of course, is its own franchise. That's Adam's franchise, right? Because this is a crossover. And so Adam asked me to write little background stories, like origin stories for one of the characters named Finch, who was basically raised to be a human fighting dog. And
was he in Psycho Slumber? I don't remember that part.
Yes, he is. He's the guy with the red hoodie and 2 eyes.
Nice.
And likes to like bite people and masticate them.
Masticate sounds sexual. Can I see it again?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like to get my masticate on sometime.
There's my boy, Mr. Crispy. He turned out to be like one of the more popular revenants.
Oh yeah.
in the Kill Journal.
Sure.
Killing Finch's father. And the thing that's really fucked up is that he loved his father, and he felt like he failed him because he couldn't save him, because the only time he could fight was when his father took off his fighting collar. And so, he was so well trained, he couldn't fight and defend his father. And that does come up in this.
Oh.
And you do get to see Mr. Crispy briefly, and you do get to see the crispified version of Finch's piece of shit sociopath father.
Interesting. Yeah. So nice little references there. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that.
You got it.
Yeah. All right. So Psycho Slumber. That's the core discussion tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Crowdfunded on Kickstarter. Got 72 backers. It also had an Indiegogo campaign. So it's made the rounds. It's been in a few people's hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's I don't know how to categorize it, because Phil is known for Lost Pages, right?
Yes.
He's known for Magic Cop.
Yes.
How many people really know him for Psycho Slumber? Is it one of his better known works, would you guys say?
I don't know.
No.
Crimstone, well, here's the thing you need to understand too about Crimstone. Crimstone was not like what Phil expected to be the breakout character. He thought the breakout character was going to be the Masquerade. And that's the character I was most looking forward to. But when we got the first Lost Pages, there was something about that Crimstone story. And I'm not a 90s guy, right? So I wasn't looking at it like, oh, like bitch and rad, but I was just completely captivated by it. And that's the character or characters from the Lost Pages that are in this, entering basically the world of the Kill Journal.
Right. All right. Cool. I am going to use that. You gave us a shut the fuck up, Brian pass. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to use that liberally.
All right. Word.
Great. All right. So Psycho Slumber. Yeah. It's something that he collaborated on with Adam Lawless. And it's an interesting piece by Phil. Here's the pitch. You just stumbled upon awesomeness. This is a tale of horror and revenge, love and loss. It will knock your teeth out and leave you asking for more. Experience it, all wrapped in the crowdfunding exclusive cover by DC Comics powerhouse Doug Mankey. Mankey? How do you say that, guys?
Mankey.
Mankey. There we go. Yeah, I definitely recognize that name. It's done a few things. 60 pages. That's not too shabby for this offering.
No, it's a nice thick book.
Nice thick book. Aldous, can you give me a summary? What exactly is Psycho Slumber about?
Psycho Slumber is it I think it fills the void, no pun intended, of the modern indie equivalent of the What If. I think that's a perfect descriptor. It's a crossover between two books, one of which I'm familiar with, which is The Lost Pages, the other which, The Kill Journal, I'm not familiar with. I've never backed anything by Adam Lawson. And similar to Brian, I am a friend of Phil, so I do want to lay that out, but I am going to be fair here. I think this is just an okay book. I think it works for what it is. It's a fun read, which it accomplishes very well. Yep. I think it has a couple of hiccups along the lines, most of which are like attempts at humor that I think fall flat. I think this book would have worked a little bit better if the script was more focused on story and not trying to do these almost obtuse attempts at humor.
You mean in terms of the dialogue?
Yeah, it's just how the dialogue is paced.
Yeah.
Overall, the story works. It's a fun what if. It's not gonna rock your world. It's just a fun story. I think there should be more books in the indie space that have this kind of energy of fun.
For sure.
But I think it could have been a lot shorter. I think it dragged on a little bit too long, and that's my take.
Dillard, you are not a friend of Phil's. So did you find also?
No, certainly not. No.
Yeah,
No.
you hate the guy, right? You're an enemy of his? I hope.
No, I wouldn't say I'm his enemy. I
Oh,
don't give him
damn.
that much thought.
Couldn't find one. It's tough. I'll be the enemy of Phil. So
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree 100% with Aldous on this. I did feel like the book was too long. Not only that, I did feel like the book was pretty good, but it was not great. It was just pretty good. I didn't feel it was different enough from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well,
Yes,
that's what
that's
this ultimately
an excellent call.
is. You know, when I read this, one thing came to mind: Dream warriors, ain't gonna dream no more. Right? This is clearly inspired by Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Yeah, which is not a bad idea. To be inspired. It's one of the greatest horror films of all time.
Yes,
but it just didn't feel like it was different enough,
right?
Story-wise,
right. I would agree with your assessment that this is a good book. It's not a great book.
Right, but it was, after I finished reading it, the first thing in my head, as soon as I finished reading it, was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think that fills the void of what I think the intention of this was to fill that void of the what if, the Marvel what if. And I think back, like my favorite Marvel what if was what if Dracula turned Wolverine, right? Like that was a great one. Right. And it had that super dark tone and he's taking everybody down. And that's what you wanted to see. It was like that fun, but this had the start of that story, but it didn't have the impact of it. So it's a fun read. It's a good, but I don't need it as 60 plus pages. Like just give me like 45, 30.
I can explain.
And if I could finish my portion of my thoughts on this.
Sorry,
what I was going to say was the parts where the failed humor, it almost felt as if it doesn't stand alone. And I don't know if it does or not, because I'm not familiar with Jazz and Crimstone. That I've only read their very first book, the very first Lost Pages. I don't know anything more about them than that, but it almost felt like with the main girl characters, like they were trying to quip at each other, but I felt like they were trying to showcase their personality while at the same time jockeying for social dominance. But I don't know if that is their personalities or if that's something they're doing just for this team up to make it seem like both are equally capable and cool. I don't know, but I found that to be the weakest part of the book.
Well, it's interesting because I've been in that situation where I've written other people's characters and when I've written crossovers, but what you want to do is you want to kind of write things so that they're sort of even, right? And that each set of characters gets their proper amount of screen time, that you're not playing favorites. And as for the book being too long, I think the reason for that, and I think it's just a little too long. I agree. There's some fat that could have been trimmed, to be sure, right? But I think that's because Adam, when he did the first Kill Journal, it was too short. He was cramming too much story into too small a space. He was it's a fun book too, but the pacing is just off in that. And so I think he wanted to let this breathe, and I think it ended up breathing maybe just a little more than it should have.
If that's the intent, it's an absolute failure, because I think that's the weakest part of this.
My guess.
The strongest part is the Crim story. The Crim and Jazz have a much better back and forth, and you get the impression that there's some kind of notoriety or familiarity between them. The Kill Journal characters, here's what it feels like. It feels, you know what it feels like? It's Heart of Darkness. It's Heart of Darkness where Ghost Rider, Punisher come in, and we're gonna fight Blackheart.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Joseph Conrad.
No, the comic, and Wolverine's there, and they're all there, and we don't know why. But Wolverine, Punisher, Archer and Ghost Rider all have a good, and it's the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider. It's not the real Ghost Rider Jenny Blaze. But when we talk about those backgrounds, Heart of Darkness establishes why they're all there really fast and in a good temperance.
Yeah.
And here it feels like we've got that going on. We establish why both of them are here really well in that intro segment. And by the way, I love the intro where we get the hobo, and he's like, "Hey, I'm the guy that reads the Lost Pages, but I've got your book, The Kill Journal." Like, that's great because they're both. We've got a great tie-in that they're each referencing a book of stories, but this story's not done yet. That's a great intro, but then we've kind of fall flat because we get an introduction to Jazz and Krim, but then when we introduce the characters from the Kill Journal, it feels like a shoehorn, like we're just kind of pushing them into the story instead of melding it. And I think that's where it feels it, and that's in Heart of Darkness, and the only reason I'm referencing it is because it has a very similar methodology for how we're merging these characters together. Every character's motivation is we spend a montage, at least of a page, of explaining why they're coming here to fight Blackheart, who's revealed to be the eventual person that's drawn them all there. Here we don't get that. We get a little bit of an it's Jazz and Krim's hometown anyway. They're going to be here, but then we get this, and suddenly there's this secondary layer of the Revants here. And well, why have they never stumbled upon it before? Why is it just now? And there's not really an explanation for that I felt was covered. And then we just kind of quickly move past that into, well, now we're going to work together and we're going to resolve this because St. George says we need to.
Right. Because,
okay.
I mean, that's the tricky thing about this kind of storytelling is, you know, you have to ask yourself, whose world is this going to take place in? Right? Is this going to take place in the world of the Kill Journal, or is this going to take place in the world of the Lost Pages? And
it should take place in the world that is cooler.
Yeah, absolutely. Generally speaking, yes. But for this, you know, it goes in that horror direction. You know, because this is basically kind of like a Lost Pages meets, you know, a horror comic, just a straight up horror comic. And then, of course, you've got our villain, Simon, who, you know, is clearly a dream demon kind of killer, you know, clearly, you know, based on Freddy Krueger. And the thing about the Revenants is that in order to destroy them, you have to reenact the trauma of their deaths, which ended up turning them into these unstoppable killers.
Well, so I understand that this is a mashup, and it's in some kind of dream world, and it's, you guys referenced Nightmare on Elm Street 3, but what exactly is happening in this book, other than it's like some conceptual thing that he seems to be exploring with excessive humor is the only thing that I've gotten so far. What is the purpose of even having this mashup, and what intent does this story serve for both characters in terms of their worlds and, you know, how they're developed here?
I can't even answer that because I'm not familiar with the characters of the Kill Journal.
Same here. I didn't.
So give me fundamentals. Like, what is happening in this story?
What's happening in the book is that people are dying, and people are dying kind of like Freddy Krueger style, and they don't know why. Well, one group knows why, but this other group stumbles upon it. Like, what's happening? Well, you don't understand. This is what we're dealing with. And they have the tropish, you know, miscommunication. The guy ends up, you know, not making it because of that. And then they have to, you know, team up.
There's a little bit of... Sorry, go.
Yeah, because apparently the boss, the buff preacher guy from the Kill Journal, has told his people that Jazz and Krim have the ability to, I guess, sway the tide of this, stop it, you know, the power.
Yeah.
So so they got to team up.
Yo, David, good to see you in the chat. Thank you. So there's a little bit of reliance on tropes, but it's a standard team-up story.
It is kind of, yeah. And I don't necessarily agree that you have to have, like Brian was saying, like giving them even screen time or create a balancing act Like one of the greatest team ups I've ever seen in recent times was the film Godzilla versus Kong, in which Kong gets beaten handily 3 times in a row in the one film, and it was a fantastic film.
Yeah. It really is, actually. I actually didn't know anybody that didn't like that when they saw it.
And I'm doing it right now. I'm doing a crossover with Doc Blaylock, and we sat down and we talked about it, like, well, who would win? I'm like, oh, obviously you would win, right? Your guy's a good guy. I can't have my guy win.
I gotta do Doc's book too. Yeah, he's got an awesome book.
You know what would happen in this scenario? What would naturally happen? Don't try to balance it out. Just tell what would actually happen if they encountered each other. If one person would clearly be the victor, you can't change that for the sake of being fair.
Right.
Well, it's not a bad setup, right? Like to use Nightmare on Elm Street 3. So where does it fail, other than the poor execution of the humor?
I don't think it fails. I think it
either.
succeeds in being fun, which is the intent of any book. I think the failure is in. I read this and I'm like, okay, that was fun, but I don't want another one. There's no story here that carries over. The kind of a cliffhanger ending with Mira, like it's like, okay, I kind of saw it coming. Right. It's not. There's nothing that needs to be done more.
Oh, for sure. Sense. No, we don't need a Psycho Slumber 2.
Is that par for the course, though, in these team-ups? Usually they're one and done,
Yeah. That's what this is.
And that's why I'm saying it's a great what if. Yep. It's an indie what if. It feels it's a fun read. I think it could have been shortened by a number of pages. But the standout is still Jazz and Krim have much more body and emphasis in this in the writing than any of the characters from the Kill Journal.
Well, those are Phil's characters. So he knows them better.
Yeah, so it feels if Phil from the credits, it's Adam Lawson and Phil were credited with the story, but Phil wrote it. Phil definitely leaned on his characters here to push the story forward.
For sure. Like I said, Crimstone's a fan favorite. Totally unexpected, but yeah.
Well, I do beg to differ with you on that. That the fan favorite, in my opinion, coming out of the Lost Pages, Masquerade is the A-list.
Oh,
that's the one that is the best character that has, to me, the longest, because it's the most unique. It's the most.
I agree.
It's the most fresh.
I agree.
Everything else is a rote or a pastiche of something that's already been done. But the Masquerade's unique and it's different. And I don't think anybody else has ever done anything like that. And I will fully credit myself as I'm a pulp fan. So when something like that comes out that has that deep pulp sense, plus the esoteric iambic pentameter, language, man, that's immediately what I'm going to gravitate to and go, oh my God, this
really
is great. It's different than everything else. This is fantastic. To me, that's the standout. Krim and Jazz are great, but there's like 50 other references of things you can talk about in both indie and mainstream that are Krim and Jazz.
Right. But like
this works because of the combination of Krim only exists in Jazz's head.
Yeah.
And yes, it represents in the physical realm, but that's why it works with the Kill Journal, because everything, the Kill Journal is a modernized pastiche of Friday the 13th, and everything's existing in one realm or another of sleep or waking.
Yeah.
So it's that slasher, and it's very two-dimensional. It's very paper thin. Krim and Jazz give this a little bit of depth. And I think that's to Phil's credit, and I think it's to Phil's credit that he pulled them in the front and made that over the story, because I think it makes the story better. But it's just a fun what if, and it needed to be thinned down a little bit. But we don't need another one. It's just fun for what it is.
Ultimately, I kind of feel like all my beefs with it are like nitpicks.
It was too long. That's not a nitpick.
Could have lost a little weight. Could have lost a little weight. I mean, shit, man. What's the average length of a movie these days? 2.5 fucking hours. It's like 90 minutes, motherfucker.
Other way around, actually. Films have been dropping in length for the last 30, 40 years.
Really?
A lot, yeah. The standard is like just under 2 hours now.
Yeah.
People don't have the same attention span.
Stupid
They're trying
Brian.
to churn theater. They want to churn the theater. They don't want long films.
What is a kill journal? Just, because you guys reference it. I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
The Kill Journal is Adam Lawson's book, where it's set in the slasher universe, right? And it's basically asking the question, like, well, what happens to the final girl after the credits roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, like, how fucked up are these people going to be? And so they form a kind of support group, and that sort of turns into they find a way. They're led by this character, Saint George, whose family was killed by one of these creatures, and they get together and they basically form a military style unit to stop these creatures. And they've discovered the way to stop them is to recreate the trauma of their deaths. So like, what do you do with Jason Voorhees? You drown him, right? What do you do with Freddy Krueger? You burn him. That sort of a thing. And so they're trying to like recreate the events that brought these revenants around. But of course, it's like a horrendous life for them. I mean, they're just, they're basically living in a nightmare. But they're trying to like make a difference. They're trying to get basically symbolic revenge.
Like, I feel after reading this book that they gave Simon
Jerry Curl.
What was his last name? What was that killer Kowalski? Simon. His name's Simon Kowalski. I feel like they gave him too much of an empathetic story for what he is.
Right.
Which I wanted him, because they didn't really give him any character. As he interacts with people, he is not a person. He is just a monster.
For sure.
Right.
Right. But I think his backstory is, I am a person, and I'm a person who's been hurt, kind of deal. But at the same time, I because of the way he is and what he is, I couldn't give a shit.
Oh yeah.
I don't think you're a killer. And they made him too interesting, and now I actually do want to see more of Simon.
He's a really good villain.
And not only that, it seems like they spent their budget on the Simon parts of the pages, and then kind of
well, you know what I mean? The splatter movie money shots is what they are, right? Because we're in the world of the Kill Journal, so of course there have to be like spectacular kills.
You're a good balancing opinion here, Dillard, because you're not familiar with all these references, as I am.
Yeah, see, I coming from the Lost pages. I understand what Brian's saying with the splatter page, and that might work for the Kill Journal. But when you're pairing it with the Lost pages, which is more of a metered, it's actually story driven rather than impact driven. Right. It doesn't work. The pacing. It misconstrues the pacing, and I think that's probably why I'm saying it's too long, because you have good story moments where you're building character, and then we get these moments that make no sense, that are just for a glorification of violence, which is fine if that's what you're going for, but it didn't fit the preceding lead-up pages.
Well,
I don't feel like if it was an artistic choice or not, but like you get these really over-the-top depictions of gore. Yeah. But at the same time, you have Krim talking frig this and frag that, and you dirty birdie, and they not actually cussing. You're looking at just X-rated horror. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I thought that worked. I thought that worked beautifully. In creating that contrast. But I wouldn't say that this is a comic that glorifies violence. It's just that spectacular.
Well, nobody's talking about glorifying violence. It's just, if you're going to have an impact page, if you're going to have a splash page that means something. It needs to tie into the context of the story. And if you're just
An
putting it in
impact,
because readers are,
but the whole point,
if you're just putting it in because readers of the Kill Journal expect you to have great graphic kills, and I understand what Student of God is saying. Like, hey, if you're not familiar with the Kill Journal, then you probably should have no business reading this. Look, man, if that's the point of the crossover, is that if only I have experienced the Kill Journal, then I shouldn't read this, then it's an absolute miss.
Well, you can ask Dillard.
It should be
what his feeling was on that. Like Dillard is the one here who didn't read the Kill Journal and read this.
I've never read the Kill Journal.
Oh, okay. My mistake. Yeah.
Also, that's why I wanted to give you guys a little bit of background on the Kill Journal. Yeah. And and the thing is that could this have lost maybe 10 pages or something like that? I think certainly, but it still does the most important thing that a comic book can do. It entertains you. It keeps you turning the page. And the worst thing that any work of art can do is bore you or make you feel nothing.
Right, and that's where I feel really, and I like I said, when I finished reading this book, I thought that's pretty good, right? But where I felt this book's biggest failure was, how can I say this? I now am less interested in reading the Kill Journal.
Really?
I would agree with that.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. And you know what was pretty good about it? Crim and Jazz. And Simon was really cool. Now, Simon comes from the Kill Journal repertoire of monsters.
Well, no,
if I'm not mistaken.
He comes from this.
He's that kind of
He's
monster.
an original killer.
But he's a revenant.
He's one of those creatures, yeah.
So if he were to show up again, he would be in the Kill Journal.
Most likely. Oh, yeah, for sure,
right.
for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's the only thing they'll be like, oh, maybe they have some interesting monsters over there, maybe. But I come away from this more like, I want to see more Jazz and Crimstone.
Mm. So you're saying he did
not so much.
He did Adam Lawless dirty by downplaying his character.
I think.
Yeah, I think Phil had way too much control over this, and he obviously.
Dan Lawless
I think
and Adam Lawless are two separate beings.
I feel like Phil swooped in and just.
Oh, there was swooping. Now there's swooping.
Swooping and shooping.
I think if you look at this book as a whole, I think what it's the point that this book serves, it does to Dillard, and I agree with Dillard. I think anybody that reads this cold is going to be more interested in Crim and Jazz than they are at the Kill Journal. I think it does a disservice to the Kill Journal, but and having never read the Kill Journal,
that's what I was trying to say. It does a disservice.
You're so I would disagree with that, but at the same time,
of course you would, because you're writing for Lawson.
There's a conflict of interest coming up.
Hey, look,
but so shut up for a minute and listen.
Shut the fuck up, Brian.
This book does little things. This book does little things that are so astute, and this is a credit to Phil. And we're gonna move. Whether he's trying to help Lawson or not trying to help Lawson, that's immaterial. I want to talk about some of the good things Phil does in this book. On page 18 of the PDF you sent me, well read.
Yeah.
It's little things like this. On panel 3. Jazz states, victim. Okay, Tank Girl. Great reference, because anybody that's not familiar with this character is immediately going to understand the structure, the stratification, and everything about the character, because he's making an allegory to Tank Girl. If you're a comic fan, you've read Tank Girl. You now know everything you want to know about this character. Mm-hmm. It's a great line.
It is.
This is Phil understanding comics, understanding comic readers, and burying it within the subtext of, hey, you haven't read the Kill Journal. How do I explain this character? She's Tank Girl.
Right.
Boom. I'm going to drop a Tank Girl reference. So he drops Tank Girl reference, and it works because in the real world, we have had a Tank Girl movie, so it can cross over. It works of where we don't need to know what world this takes place in. It could take place in our world. It could take place in just the world where Tank Girl's a comic, or it could take place in a world where just there's a Tank Girl movie. but we have a cross reference that we now understand the character. There's no counterpoint. We never get the counterpoint to understand from the Kill Journal characters who Krim and Jazz are. Does that make sense?
Is she
Sure.
Tank Girl though because her sides are shaved, or is there something more?
It's just the reference of you.
And the way
you
she's
know her,
dressed, too.
you know her character by how she's referenced. She's aloof. She's crazy. She's doing weird shit. And Jazz is like, okay, Tank Girl.
Right.
Because to Jazz, it's everything is from Jazz's point of view, which works in the context of the story, but it doesn't drive you to go, man, you know what I want to do? I want to read more Kill Journal.
Well, yeah, because like I said, this is basically Crimstone entering the world of.
Oh, the rain got Brian, I think. Yeah, dropped out for a bit. Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, it's like you do a crossover like this, you have to decide like whose world is this going to take place in, and so.
But that's my point, man. In a what if, you had a good blend of the two, and this never feels like that. This is a Jazz and Krim story that the Kill Journal kind of. It's episode 5 of season 2, and we're guest appearancing the Kill Journal. And or it's like at the end of season 2, and we're trying to spin off the Kill Journal into their own series, and and the network's not happy because the demographics for this didn't work.
Okay. I would say that you're right in certain respects. I just think it works. I just think it ends up.
Are they way too
special? So
are they way too deep in the weeds, Dillard? For you, like, are you following what they're?
I know. I understand exactly what they're saying. I agree with what Aldous is saying.
Okay,
it does feel exactly like that.
Yeah. Fuck you, Phil.
Why are you mad at Phil?
I'm not. I'm just busting his balls.
People spontaneously get mad at Phil over random things
because we like busting his balls. I mean, that's how males show affection, right? We fuck with each other.
Oh yeah. You grab each other's balls and you know,
do a nice little squeeze.
That's how you do it. All right, so it's a serviceable, little adventure.
But in terms of like the writing and the story, I mean, it's better than your average comic.
For fucking sure. Tell me, does this look? I mean, you can't tell me that this book looks like an indie. It absolutely does not.
Looks like an indie.
It looks like an indie, but it does not read like an indie. It reads.
I would agree completely with that. It reads like a Marvel What If, which is a compliment. I mean,
it reads
Marvel
like a really good
had
Marvel
some of
What
the
If.
cutting edge young talent on them. It reads like a What If. The art, yes, it looks like an indie. It's structured like an indie. The panel layouts feel like an indie. There are awkward moments throughout this book.
Yeah.
There are pages that could be slimmed down. There's a lot of, again, this book is like 10 pages too long. It needed a heavy editor knife. I think the story's fine, but again, to me, it's Hearts of Darkness by Marvel. It's Ghost Rider, Punisher, and Wolverine fighting Blackheart. And if you go to that book is a goddamn clinic on 90s style action of introduce character, introduce motivation, introduce conflict, and boom, boom, boom on those 3 characters, and then get into the action. This
90s. That's why I didn't read it.
But this art, everything about this book screams 90s, other than its pacing.
Dillard, tear apart the art for us. What's done well and what's done poorly on these pages?
No, I would say the pages are done really well in the sense that it's all very competent, very consistent, there's no variation in the modeling of each character. You know who's standing where, even by their height. The only issue I had with that was there's a portion of the book where Simon grows very large in size, and I don't know where that takes place, like when that starts. I even went back to see, like, where does that even start where he's massive? You know what I mean? And I couldn't find it. Other than that, I mean, everything is really solidly done. I mean, and the nitpicks that I have are, like Aldous said, they're nitpicks. It's just stylistically, they're nitpicks.
Is this normal to have 3 panels on a page? I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, a 3-stack. A 3-stack's not unusual.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
It even has a name. It's called a 3-stack.
I'm illiterate. My apologies.
That's all good.
Yeah, my name is a joke, just in case nobody knew it.
I mean, like on a 3-stack, and this is a nitpick that I always have. If you're going to do a 3-stack, pick one panel to be the primary and extend it throughout the page, and then layer the other 2 panels upon it. Would be my only critique on this, but they do a good job. And to the artist's credit, they're not using white space here. Which, God, how many times have we talked about a book where like you would get 3 panels and it would just be white space behind it, but they've chosen to do a gradient behind it, so you get a little bit more depth. So each panel, although it's floating within its own essence, and you have sequential, you still have some depth behind it, so you get a little bit more meaning, if that makes sense. It's not stark. I like seeing that. That's one of the things that I really like, but I would really love to see that first panel, maybe the background extended more, so it's not just a gradient rather than it's 2 insets sitting on top of it. But even then, at least they're not using white space. And to this book's credit, it doesn't use a whole lot of white space. It's not wasting page space with this distracting amount of null. It has depth and it has essence, and it gives you a sense of, as you're turning the pages, there's something there for context. It's not just floating in the ether. That's always appreciated when a book does that.
I especially love like the little bits where Jazz is like walking or standing someplace and you see Crim's reflection. There's a great moment in like the opening pages. I think maybe it's like page 4 or 5. It's after she gets shot by this guy that
where he eats the gun. He's eating the gun in the reflection. That's a really good. That is on page.
Oh, the PDF. What is it?
That is on page 14. It's a great use of the dichotomy of Jazz and Crim. And this goes to Phil's writing, and this is why I keep on saying that Jazz and Crim are written so well. They're written so well that, and I said this on the last Lost Pages review that we talked about with Jazz and Crim. I hate Crim's. I detest. I do not like Crim's font that they chose to use. Like it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. Like it needs to be a little bit more. I understand what they're going for, but to me, it's just not as legible as it should be.
I would agree with that. Actually, I absolutely would agree with that. Because there are some cases where I've had to really kind of squint and kind of and you don't want to do anything that is going to get the reader to slow down or stop reading your story.
Right. And if you scroll up just a little bit, well read, you'll see the page that both Brian and I are talking about.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid showing too much of the GUN, even though it's FUN.
Gotcha. But yeah, right there you get the transition, and this does a couple of things that are really cool. You've got Jazz's hair bridging the gutter line, so you know it's the same scene. Yes. But at the same time, you have the action of the gun going from his hand into Crim's mouth, and Crim's eating it. Mm-hmm. So that goes to what Brian's saying of the duality of Jazz and Crim, of that Crim only really exists in Jazz's mind, but he has a physical representation, but you're only getting in the reflection. It's a really, really great art choice. And it signifies, we talk about this a lot on the Gutter, my comic show on Fridays, where if you're going to do a gutter break, you need to have some kind of meaning behind it. But here we have the meaning is that Jazz is Crim, Crim is Jazz. They're the same entity, but you're only getting that action in the reflection. It's a really great moment that establishes that we never have anything like this for the Kill Journal characters.
Right. No, that's true. Although I actually think that Crim is actually real. He just doesn't have a physical form, but that he is his own entity and that they sort of share a body. Well, so and then, of course, that's what's the genius thing about getting him into the dream world is there he can actually have a real body. And there's that wonderful moment at the end where both Jazz and Crim grab Finch and they throw him like fucking Colossus used to throw Wolverine, the old fastball special.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to reference that to me is downplayed. Like, I love it, but it's downplayed by the fact that Fastball is on Krim at the time that he does it. Like, it's a little too in your face. We don't need the Fastball special is overused anyway. Anybody that read Uncanny knows that it's overused.
But it's hard to resist.
So you don't need Fastball written on Krim's arm when he does it. Like, it's and that's on page 63. Well read.
So even though he's doing this like just a standard mashup, and referencing these horror, genres while doing that, is there a theme that this book kind of leans on to carry it through at all?
I haven't read it in a while. I read like the first 20 pages before coming on. It does, I think, have a lot to do with inner strength. I think that both Crimstone and the Kill Journal are very much about the difference between a victim and a survivor, right? Because all these characters are the products of trauma. And their trauma has, in this sense, well, they've weaponized it. In the case of Krim and Jazz, she basically had her imaginary friend somehow become real, right? Or maybe he was real.
But you don't know that from just this book.
No, you don't, and you don't even necessarily know it from the solo Crimstone book. Phil is gradually sort of like unveiling, like.
Well, I guess contrary to you, I read the whole book that we're reviewing tonight, and I view it as like, what's the theme? The theme is they slam together two things in trying to get something that worked, and one worked really well with the other, but the other didn't meld well. And it's the Kill Journal. Like, the Revenant doesn't fit into this realm at all. It does, in a sense. They try with the dream.
And I feel where they fail in some of these parts. This guy's face really encapsulates that a lot. Where it's like, when you draw a female in a comic, you don't want to give her like a lot of crazy expressions because then you kind of make her look ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's almost as if whoever was doing this book was treating the Kill Journal characters with kid gloves. So their personalities do not shine through at all.
Yes. Oh, that's such a good point. Fuck. You were so right.
Wow. There's some gay opping happening in this book. So sabotage on the Kill Journal.
No, because these characters are supposed to be gnarly, dirty, wounded. People who probably don't have the best personal hygiene.
Like right here in this panel, this guy he's screaming, you guys are, and then he says psycho, right? Because they're throwing him. This is his expression as he's saying psycho.
Brian, if you're saying these people are representatives of the Catholic Church, but
no.
Okay, well that's the implied beginning of it.
They're like heretics, basically. They're like a heretical order, I would say.
So there's why? Okay, if that's the case, then why start the book off with the hobo walking into a Catholic church and talking to a priest?
Right,
a hobo walks into a Catholic church.
You have to understand that the priest, and it's even said in that opening that he's new in town. That's because the thing about the people, the crew in the Kill Journal, is that they always have to keep moving because they're leaving bodies behind.
But you understand, in order to be sent to a church, in order to be sent to a Catholic church, you have to be appointed.
Right. I think it's
so the church is behind it. So the church is somehow sanctifying this. If the church is sanctifying this, why are they sanctifying people that are not hygienic?
Well, like I said, these the Kill Journal crew, they're made up of basically final girls, although some of them are final guys. And what's happened is that St. George, he knows the Vatican's not going to do anything about something like this. He's basically taking the law into his own hands. So it's not something like John Carpenter's Vampires, where they're being directly funded by the Vatican. This is basically they're outlaws, basically, or heretics. And what St. George does is he basically finds, like, old abandoned churches, those kinds of places, and turns those places into his headquarters, and really doesn't hold services, generally speaking, although he does find other people who have survived encounters with these revenants.
Okay, I dig that. That works. And you can change the dialogue then immediately in the first 2 pages to make that fit.
Right.
Because instead of excuse me, sir, church hours are over. Like, excuse me, sir, the church is not ready yet.
It assumes.
But if I can help you, give me your time. Like,
right. It assumes that you've read the Kill Journal.
But that inherently is the problem, because if you're gonna do the crossover, and I saw there's somebody in the chat. What do I have against the Kill Journal? I have nothing against the Kill Journal. I haven't read it.
Right.
I should be able to enter a quote unquote what if book or a crossover book and get an idea of what's going on. And I'm not.
Right, but I'm like one of my favorite what ifs was, what if Wolverine killed the Hulk? Right? Like, knew that would be a soft spot, right? He stabs the fucking Hulk, I think, in the throat and into his brain. And imagine going into a what if book and you don't know who Wolverine and the Hulk are. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do, but at the same time, both the Hulk and Wolverine are tropes.
Yes. Iconic characters.
And whether you have read 100 issues of the Hulk or 100 issues of Wolverine, I get the trope immediately, and I can because they handle it within the first few issues. Again, the first few pages of this, they do a good job of establishing who Jazz and Krim are. I don't get the sense that we're they get a sense of the background of who the Kill Journal characters are, in the sense of like what their mission is, but I have no idea who they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially who they are in relation to each other. Like, are they friends? Are they lovers? Like, what the fuck are these two to each other?
Sort of like brother and sister, really.
But
it does not feel like that at all.
It does not feel like that. I agree with Tillard, and it comes across with an assumption of knowledge. Like, I should just know how this progresses.
Matt in the
it's
chat.
Almost like somebody from the day shift got teamed up with somebody from the night shift, and they don't know each other.
If that wasn't clear enough, fuck you, Phil.
Apparently,
wow, Aldous really hates the Kill Journal.
Yeah, who would have thought?
You should read it.
I've never read it, but I hate it.
Okay, all right. You haven't read it, but you hate it. All right.
Oh, everybody's entitled to hate something they've never experienced before. So.
It was like I said, the first Kill Journal. I think the concept is fucking brilliant, but my problem with the first Kill Journal was that the pacing was all fucked up, because it was, I think, 4 issues long, right? It was a trade paperback, and that story needed at least 6 issues. Like, it felt rushed. Like
so it's the rare indie comic that needs more.
Yes, actually, yeah, I absolutely would say so.
Maybe we can get you some, review copies there, Aldous. You can get familiar with the Kill Journal. All right, guys, let's
hook a brother up.
Let's hit final thoughts, because I'd like to pitch your projects before bringing on Phil.
All right.
Is there anything else people wanted to cover before we do that?
I'm good.
Yeah. We all hate the Kill Journal. Just that's been a second. All right, Dylan.
I don't know how that started.
Yeah, my final thoughts, I guess. Unlike Aldous, overall, I like the Kill Journal, but this book it was enough. It was enough to tell the story, and it wasn't enough to get me interested in the Kill Journal. So I would say it's a 50% success, 50% failure, because it did get me more interested in hearing. I'm interested now in the next Jazz and Crimstone story.
So
But
basically,
again,
Phil failed.
Right. If I don't know who wrote this book, and I don't know who drew this book. Who drew the book? The person who drew the book, is that the same person that does Phil's books, or the same person that does the Kill Journals?
He clearly works for Phil, right? Because he downplayed all the Kill Journal characters.
Juan Gideon.
He was on the take.
Yeah, because I guess
overall he does a really good job. I mean, I do.
Like, it would have been great. I think overall, I think you should have had Phil write it and had the guy who does Kill Journal draw it.
Oh, well, that's my boy Maxie. Maxie.
So Adam Lawless,
yes.
What's his name? He does the Kill Journal, right? Like, he's the writer of it. That's his book.
Yes. And has done a lot of stuff in this.
I thought you wrote it. Why are you so up his butt then, Brian?
Hey, look. Here's the thing. Adam is a guy who has a lot of fucking energy, but he kind of likes to recruit people to help bring basically a midwife his ideas, right?
Oh, okay. I understand.
The thing I have that's coming out, it's called Mad Dog Morgan. The publisher changed the title. The original title was Blood Moon Stomp. That's how I've been quote unquote promoting it.
Cool. So final thoughts. I would say I give this book overall a B-.
I think that's a fair grade. That's what I would give it to. I think that a lot of the criticisms are deserved, but ultimately it's
fuck up, Brian.
I was gonna say, Brian, since you're giving Dillard his final thoughts, would you like to give your final thoughts?
Damn it. Look, I'm eating as fuck. You might want to. Can you give Dillard the mute button? No, fuck it. I'll mute myself.
Brian, give us your final thoughts, so Aldous can have his time to himself. What's your final thoughts, Brian? Get off the mute. Get off the pot.
It's a good, fun book. I definitely do recommend it. I would say ultimate grade would be a B-. But overall, it's a zippy read, and it is entertaining, very entertaining.
Okay, Aldous. I think the floor is yours. Finally,
I would say that this book is a strong example of how a crossover between two semi-related properties can work. But I think it's a miss. I think your average reader would be better spent taking their $25 and buying any number of classic comics better than this.
Fuck you, Phil.
Brian,
you can clarify that if you want, Brian, but that's not what I said.
Brian, let's throw you a bone. You want to pitch your project?
Fuck yeah! Hell yeah! Well, that's the campaign that is going to be fulfilling hopefully next month. If you want to read the first issue of Six Gun Gorilla, you can download the first issue as a free PDF, and always believe in giving the customer a chance to kick the tires. The book is hella fucking late, but it is going to be a banger. I can honestly say that without being braggadocious. And then I'm dropping this in the private chat. This is the thing I got coming out on October 7th with Adam Lawson.
Can you do me a favor and comment in the chat so I can give you a wrench so you can drop your own links?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do extra work. So.
All right. Right.
Yeah. We're already managing enough here.
That's all good. Oh man, I haven't streamed in a long time. I just haven't had the time. I am gonna try to get back to it though.
Yeah, it's okay.
Videos and
it kind of sucks, but whatever. Dillard, do you got projects and things? Do you have aspirations and dreams? You're already wrenched, Dillard.
Oh, it won't let me. Oh, wait, hold on.
Are you banned? I probably banned you for in this and during this show.
During the stream. I said, dude, I'm ADD as fuck. Oh, God damn.
No. You should be able to. That's weird. Okay. You're not banned, that's for sure. Unless you're like one of those weird alts that come in here and drop in.
No. Unlike some people, I don't have like 1,000 alts.
Dillard, tell us about your ongoing projects. What do you have going on right now?
Yeah, I got 2 projects currently funding right now, and one of them is called the Buckler, the story so far, on Fund My Comic. And okay. I just got the confirmation that I'm up at bat, so Marcos Martins is now coloring the new cover for that, so that's gonna be fucking amazing. Very happy with Marcos. He's a fantastic colorist. And another book I worked on, The Mighty Golden Patriot, is still available for purchase on ripasen.com. So go check that out.
Yes. Which I have but haven't read.
I'm trying to get the Mighty Golden Patriot review together. That's got some interesting people for that.
Oh, I'm involved with that project. I can't be in the review on.
No, you won't be. Don't worry. You'll be in the interview, perhaps.
Don't worry, you won't be.
Yeah. I wouldn't dream of including you.
All right. I got the YouTube.
Not like Brian's all fucking ass deep in this book.
hey, where's my book? Where's my book, Dillard?
That's weird. I saw you pop up on the StreamYard. I don't see you though in the YouTubes. Yeah. That is weird. YouTubes. It's because you're dropping links. Can you just say hi?
Yeah, this is the Canadian Tussle. This is not the book I was talking about.
All right, let me try.
Oh, it's not? My bad.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Nobody cares.
This is a shit show, if you haven't noticed.
It's a little bit. Well, I'd classify it more as a clusterfuck personally, but
All right, help me out here. I'm scrolling, and I don't see anything.
Or go to Kickstarter and just type in Mad Dog Morgan. Or...
No, we're talking about Dillard right now, Brian.
Yeah, move on.
Shut the fuck up, Brian.
Right, dude, I told you.
He hasn't all night. Why would you expect him to do so now?
All right, there you are. Okay, so I'm wrenching you, and now you can, drop links and, ban people. Don't ban anybody though. Okay, and no timing anyone out. Yeah. So help me out, Dillard. Where are all your projects here?
I don't know. I don't know. What are you typing in under?
This is Dillard.
No, that's the old one. That one's already been fulfilled. That's closed.
You have one though on Kickstarter, don't you?
No.
Or on Fund My Comic. Yeah. My bad.
It's called The Buckler, the story so far.
There we go. I got it. All right, just for your patience and tolerance of my drunkenness and
have you been
Brian's?
God damn it,
Brian's ADHD. Let's play your trailer, just to make this all worthwhile.
All right.
Is that happening within the next 10 minutes?
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, apparently Dark Gift sent an email to Brian about the Canadian Tussle months ago that he's never heard a response to.
I hope I'm sharing the audio. Am I?
Nope, not at all.
You're not sharing video either, buddy.
Okay. I clicked it, so my bad. Let me.
I'm just gonna leave.
This is going so well.
God
guys,
damn.
can I have a little charity? It's
no. I'm sure Phil's loving.
Can we bring Phil on so we can talk about Psycho Slumber?
Guys, tomorrow is the Rapture, so
this is the stream for about people with a future in comics.
You,
not about me.
you need to behave, otherwise you're not getting raptured. All right.
Oh no.
Yeah. There we go. You can see this, right? That is shared.
Oh no.
Yeah. You can see this, right? That is shared. You can see this.
2,000 on thermometers, 2,000 surrounding us. Who travel 2,000 kilometers to hang out with us? What's up, danger? What's up, danger? Hey, didn't know they doubted us. Makes it that more marvelous. Sign them up, cause ominous vibes and I get synonymous. What's up, danger? Hey, be a stranger. Cause I like high chances that I might lose. I like it all on the edge, just like you. Ay, I like tall buildings so I can leap off of them. I go hard with it no matter how dark it is. I'm insane, but on my toes. I could keep the world balanced on my nose. I had a slumber party with all my foes. Now I wear them like a badge on all my clothes. If I'm crazy, I'm on my own. If I'm waiting, it's on my phone. If I sound lazy, just ignore my tone. Cause I'm always gonna answer when you call my phone. Like, what's up, danger? Like, what's up, danger? Don't be a stranger. What's up, danger? Can't stop me now. I said I got you now. I'm right here at your door. I won't leave. I want more. What's up, danger? Yeah, what's up, danger? Can't stop me now. Yeah. I said I got you now. Come on, what's up, danger? Come on, say what's up, danger?
Cool. I finally got something right. All right.
Man, the trailer was dope.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll take credit because I played it. You know,
You spend so much time working on the timing with the music and the sound effects, and then Well-Red's choppy ass internet just fucks it all.
Did it? Oh damn! All right, let's just bring on the guest. You know. This
Oh
is
wait,
already-
I don't get to hype anything.
Oh wait.
Yeah,
you-
and I
you
posted
gave
the
a
link.
You gave a final. Oh wait, you got a plug. All right, go ahead, Aldous. What do you want to plug?
Summer of Snugs. www.summerofsnugs. Go check it out. A fine list of a number of independent comics, all cultivated by Snuggy and myself. Go check them out. They're all great people. Back them all. Thank you.
Thank you. Summer of Snugs. Is there like a URL?
We're 2 days over summer, but we're extending the summer into like mid-fall until we can, redo the website.
Okay, so there's no URL for me to be dropping right now.
Oh no, there is. Summer of Snugs.
Snugs has got it. Cool. Yeah. See, I like having a lot of mods because then I do less work.
Yeah. There's the Kickstarter campaign for Mad Dog Morgan. Like I said, launching.
That's
on
great.
Sunday.
You already had your chance to promote. Summer of Snugs.
All right, let's bring on the guest.
Yeah, no, it's been too cruel.
Look at this
It's been cruel.
poor miserable guy.
I know. Poor Phil.
Phil's asleep. Oh, look, he woke up.
Oh, we're
I
sorry,
didn't
brother.
remember streaming. What's up, everybody? Hail the chat.
Hail Phil.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
So
what'd you
out of
think?
Chimichanga.
What'd you think of your gay op against the Kill Journal?
I think it worked. I think it actually worked.
Yeah.
Against Adam Lawless is my co. His last name's Lawson. Well read.
Lawson. Yeah. Sorry. There's too many L's here. Sorry. Well, so how did that relationship come about? You guys are collaborating. Give us a little bit of background there on how you guys decided to do this project together.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, he and I both have been putting out indie comics through crowdfunding over the last, 7 years. And we're friendly. He's been on my show a few times. I've been on other streams with him. And he was an admirer of the Lost Pages series. And he called me up one day and he pitched the idea of doing a crossover, which originally he wanted the Silhouette to be a part of. And from what I knew of the Kill Journal, and I had backed that original campaign. I read through it, and it's very much a series based around a conceptual genre of, you have slasher characters that are very much so stand-ins for popular slasher horror film icons. But what if the survivors of those slashers took up arms and hunted the killers? So that's the base premise of that. I looked at all the slashers he had, and I'm like, oh, they don't have a dream killer yet. They don't have a stand-in for Freddy. They have the Jason stand-in, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a bunch of stand-ins. He didn't have a Freddy one yet. So I'm like, oh, could I create a Revenant that we could use in this story? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I would love to do Crimstone. We had just fulfilled Lost Pages 3, which is all about Crimstone. It seemed like my reader base was really digging that character. And so I'm like, why not have something that could be a cool one-shot that our readers could jump onto, that explores a little bit more into Crimstone's psyche, but also we get this new cool character that we could play around in the dream world in, which, rolled up into Crimstone's abilities pretty well.
I'm going to get academic with you. So did you reference any other one-shots, mashups like this, when you were putting this one together?
I feel like it's, I don't know, just kind of like inherently ingrained the tropes of a one-shot, right? You always have the introduction and then the two, heroic forces get into a scuffle. You've seen it in comics throughout the decades, TV shows, when you have two IPs that clash. So there wasn't anything very specific that was like that. I feel like it was just everything I've run into throughout the years, just kind of like it was instinct to be like, oh yeah, it should go like this,
They mentioned the What If a lot. Like, did you read that series?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's like very long running, and there's so many different mashups in there. But yeah, when Aldous was talking about that, I'm like, that makes perfect sense, because it's basically what it is. And it was written to be a one shot and have that kind of very slasher-esque cliffhanger ending, which would come like post credits in like a Freddy Krueger film, where it's like, oh, this guy could be still at large. And yeah, we definitely pulled from those ideas for sure.
My favorite issue of What If is, what if Brian Christgau didn't talk over other people on streams?
I'm being a good boy. I'm sorry. I got into the net before the stream.
No
more bong hits before
good one.
streams.
Yeah,
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah. Now I'm having a few drinks too. So I'm
sorry. Hello, Phil. I had to go get a soda and turn on my air conditioning for 5 minutes. It was 100 degrees here, and I want to have good audio.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. What's up, Dillard? I appreciate.
So out of the reviewers today, who would you say is the most correct?
I'd say Dillard, you're my favorite, John.
Yeah.
Because you lent your voice for the trailer, but also because you had some good takes. No, I appreciate.
I told you guys.
All the reviews.
Except for me, I don't give any takes from that.
My least favorite person on the panel is Well Read, because he comes on here.
Thank
He
you.
doesn't read any of the books. And he tries to extrapolate what people are telling him. And
Give me
he
your
goes,
clout.
So.
I'm a parasite. I'm comfortable with that.
He's like, I haven't read this. Can you describe to me what exactly is a dream, Dillard?
A dream, Dillard?
Well,
can you tell me what
that's
exactly
like a Steely
is
Dan.
a Revenant? Could you tell me what is a comic
giant
book?
Floating dildo.
Yeah, that's Well Read. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, those are my lines. Exactly.
They're like Jason Voorhees, The Stranger, Michael Myers, Leatherface.
Yeah, but that's why I was so excited to do this, because I was able to create Simon, and I tried to keep the bulk of the story kind of revolving around him. And I love the idea of how there's a mystery that these survivors have to find out, like a Horcrux. They have to do something to then banish this, ghostly revenant from Earth. The ability to interact with Earth. So
Dark Gift makes an interesting reference here. He says Killjoy sounds like a better version of Freddy versus Jason versus Ash.
Oh man, I think there's probably that never happened, but that should have. That would have been the best version.
I have a question for Phil.
Yeah, go for it, Brian.
Now, when you sat down to write this, how many times did you listen to Dream Warriors by Dokken?
I didn't. No,
you didn't. Not even once.
I listened to you sing it earlier, and that's all I needed.
Oh, okay, all right. Because I would have been banging that shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have a question for Phil now that he is here.
Yeah.
When you were writing this story and making this book, did you feel like you did have to treat the Kill Journal with kid gloves because it wasn't yours?
No, I don't think so. And I understand what you're saying with the you're talking about the art where like their faces are very, there's like more character in Crim and Jazz, right?
Like it's more important that they're on model than expressing, you know.
Well, I think that probably was a subconscious bias on my part because I was acting very much so as project manager, dealing with the artist, sending in editorial notes. And so I think my hand showed there that I for sure am more familiar with those characters. And that's why it leaned heavily towards a Crimstone story. But the Kill Journal, and I know you guys haven't read it, it's much more gruesome than even this.
It is.
This story. So like I know Bancroft's read the Kill Journal. Anytime he talks about it, he's like, that is some extreme stuff. So I had to find a balance with my characters of like, how much do I want to step down that path and how much of that is going to take away from or shock my audience, you know, and how much do I want my characters involved in that? So that's like I tried to keep them on brand. Where like Crim, he's very much
putting their filth in your PG rated story.
Sure, but at the same time, I wanted that the page turn shock gore of a slasher film. So I tried to keep that balance, and perhaps it seemed a little unbalanced because of that.
Yeah, why even go for that mashup if they're so divergent?
Comic, I mean,
could we let him answer?
Brian, I appreciate it, Brian.
I'm sorry.
I do have a question for Brian. How much did you imagine Brian in a miniskirt?
How much did not until now, Snugs? Thank you. I wish you didn't have a wrench so I could time you out.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Phil. So why go for the mashup if they're so divergent, the two properties?
I thought that the aspect of actually seeing Crim fully formed in the dream world would be a really fun aspect, and how much more I could do with them and do with Crim. He forms into like a wrecking ball in one scene and he gets his arm cut off and stuff. And I thought the material was there to give it a shot doing as a one shot. I love characters. I love designing and creating characters. And once I came up with the concept for Simon, I'm like, oh man, I got to do this now. Like, I want to see this, see how this will go. And everybody, at the time too, was like, oh, we're part of this big community. It would be cool to see more crossovers. No one had really done one that was like a full story one shot. So I'm like, why not give it a try? We came off of The Lost Pages 3, which was our most successful crowdfunder at the time. We had like 570 backers and made over $43,000. So I'm like, all right, let's put some of this profits into something that we could team up with Adam and see how it goes.
Nice.
How did that work out for you?
I thought there was many factors that led us down the path where we ended up at, which was unfortunate, but we roll with the punches. But yeah, you could just look at the numbers and see the difference between the previous campaign and that one.
Well, why is there Kickstarter, I'm trying to think of the right language here. I'm being very diplomatic.
Mhm.
Why is there a perception that perhaps there wasn't as much of a success that you would have liked to have seen?
Why is there perception? I think it's a
Mostly Aldous.
No, I mean, I think it's a visual fact that it didn't do as well as our previous Crimstone campaign. But I mean, if you look at it on paper logically, it should have done, akin to what the Lost Pages Volume 3 did.
I don't think the economy being dog shit helped much.
I mean, I don't think that was the main factor, but also too, at the time, Adam Lawson just got off of doing that Kickstarter book with Wesley Snipes, which made over $100,000 on Kickstarter. So the game plan also there was, this is going to be the first time anything's going to be marketed to that audience again from Adam. And then also didn't work out as we planned, but who could foresee any of that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, why?
Because you made a good comic. That's what matters. Like, we all enjoyed it.
Well, why do you? What's your theory?
Yeah, Phil.
My theory?
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously lost like a big backer percentage from my audience just because of online drama, I would say.
So you think that that downturn impacted this project directly, essentially?
Yeah, I would say that's one of the factors, probably the majority of it. Yeah, I think that's probably the largest factor.
It has a lot of marketability. Just like when you look at it, the art is very sellable, and the designs as well. You could make this more commercial, and it would do well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's you want to go along a list of factors. It's horror, which is a smaller niche subsect of media, but also people love horror. It's we haven't really dipped our toe into horror, slasher horror, and stuff like that. Yeah, but on top of that, there's a bunch of small things.
I think Aldous just withheld his multiple backing that normally he would offer to non-Adam Lawson projects.
Well,
at least 50% of the sales were attributed to Aldous, not contributing.
That rascal. I forgive him.
Piece of shit.
Aldous, you failed indie comics.
Okay. No, I think you guys
that's what I'm known for, is not supporting indie comics. Absolutely, well read. Thank you so much.
Hey, I'm the one who doesn't support indie comics.
Look, it may not have
don't take my rep from me.
I think
I'm sorry. Should I have interrupted more throughout the night so that you didn't just shit all over me? Let me just talk over all the other, co-hosts. That's obviously what I need to do so that I'm not shit on.
My apologies, Phil. It's turned into a shit show.
No, and I mean, I was also
clusterfuck.
What's that? Oh, tonight?
Yeah,
I wasn't watching. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, might want to
right.
But
you made a fun comic, dude. That's just all I wanted to say.
You were showing off the Kickstarter, which made $2,000 to $3,000. The Indiegogo made $9,000 on that. That was the first one we put up and promoted. We did the Kickstarter later, and then consolidated it when we fulfilled. So, I mean, I'm happy that it's out there, and I enjoyed hearing the critiques and stuff like that.
Yeah, all of it is growth ultimately. Yeah, let me pop up the Indiegogo here, because when I first looked at this, I thought this was after the Kickstarter, because it seemed to be including other projects, so I didn't show that first. But you're right, actually, it did perform better than the Kickstarter, which is
for sure,
kind of interesting.
Yeah, so we kind of held it like I ran the Indiegogo, Adam ran the Kickstarter on his account, because I've never done like a Kickstarter, and he has had success on Kickstarter. So yeah, this was the first one we ran for that.
Yeah, so a lot of these are your customers, essentially. Yep. 174 backers.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And I was hoping, the Kickstarter, because it got like projects we love on Kickstarter, which I don't know how meaningful that actually is, but we wanted to see like how many, as outside eyes or readers from Adam's previous works we would grab on here. And then we also, added this kick-ass Doug Mankey cover. So that was later in his
really
campaign
cool.
too.
Yeah, I don't know. The project, like you look at it and it looks like a commercial project. Like it's got a ton of marketability. So it would be nice to do a relaunch maybe at some point.
Maybe.
No, maybe.
We'll I still have, there's still copies. If anybody has not grabbed it, you can go grab it on ZAIDcomics.com. Yeah.
Do you feel like it's a good representation of your writing ability? Where do you rank it in terms of your personal achievements for your work?
I'd say it's probably under the newest Lost Pages stuff. And I mean, obviously you guys said Dillard, I thought this was funny where you're like, it doesn't make you want to read more Kill Journal, but it makes you want to read more Prim and Jazz and maybe even Simon. And the way that the script was written is we came up with a basic plot. I pitched the idea of Simon to Adam. He thought it was cool. Using Crim in the dream world aspect was definitely on board. So I wrote the script and then we basically passed it back and forth. Well, passed it to Adam for the, so he could get the voices of his characters down, right? Because I'm going to know Crim and Jazz. He's going to know the Kill Journal characters a little better. So, there definitely was a heavier hand with Crim. And I think just naturally, too, they're much more... they're definitely louder characters than his survivors from the Kill Journal. So visually and attitude wise, I think.
So what you're saying is that I'm not missing something from the Kill Journal. I got Adam's characters from the Kill Journal in the story.
I think based off of what Phil just said and the fact that the citation for the story is Phil and Adam, but the script is just Phil, sums everything up. I think Phil just answered that question. The Adam was obviously happy with what was produced.
Yeah. He's told me that. I threw in actually the part with Finch where they're inside of her mind and he opens the closet door and sees his father burning. That was actually reference to his origin story. I tried to give a little glimpse into that in Psycho Slumber for maybe new readers, that so they could connect to his backstory and how he was traumatized by a revenant in his past. But mainly I wanted to focus on was the villain, Simon, his backstory, how things were resolved with him, why he is so different in this monstrous form than when we see him as a child, stuff like that. Or not.
You committed a heresy when you said that actually, sorry, before I chastise you, Kill Journal sounds like a better version of Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, and then he follows up, he's saying that it did happen in comic form, apparently.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
So there's a reference there.
Who did that? Dynamite?
Dynamite, probably.
Yeah. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Well, so your heresy is when you said it's not your you have other works that are considered to be your best. The one that you did not mention, which you are obligated to do so, is A Man with No Strings.
Yeah.
The Man with No Strings. This is your best work, Phil.
How do you know? It's not out yet.
Well, that's what you're supposed to say so that you pitch your book. That's what you're...
I have had a sneak peek. I've had a little sneak peek at this book, and I'm telling
a couple of you guys
you're in for something special.
I hope so. I mean, that's a big thing, right? Where it's, can I top the previous book or the favorite that I've come out with. I did a story for Mark Polton, a Graveyard Shift story, and I thought that was my best at the time, and I was really worried that Lost Pages 3 wouldn't hold up to that. And then when I came out with that, I'm like, oh, it does. So I felt that it progressed that way in quality. And here with The Man with No Strings, I also hope that this tops my previous work. And the amount of work I'm actually putting into writing this hopefully will make that happen, because this is the most detailed I've been in planning a story out, because this is going to be an ongoing series. But yeah, it's our weird Western fantasy that we're done with issue 0. It's going to come out this November. So the pre-order campaign is on ZAIDcomics.com right now, and you guys can grab a copy. If you actually hit that pre-order button, it'll take you to the page.
Yeah, I'm just going to type in my credit card info here.
Get down on it.
Yes, share that screen.
Get down on it.
Give us the pitch. What is the...
All right. So this is, like I said, a weird Western fantasy. It follows a lone gunman on a path of vengeance. His soul has been cursed to rot with everyone he kills along this path. So he changes with every encounter to get to his goal. And he's going to be very different by the end of the series than he is now. And there's magic, there's witches, there's ghouls. So it's not a straight Western. It is definitely twisted, and been working on it for a really long time, and I hope you guys dig it.
Can we know a little bit about the character as you sit here and try to sell us on the idea of the man with no strings? Why that's significant? Why that's as
importance? So he's a man that has nothing left, and he's going to find out how much he's willing to lose in order to get back what's been taken from him. He has one goal. I would say it's a blind goal, and it's very much a tale of what happens when you seek revenge and how you can lose your humanity along your way when you have blind goals like these. Issue 0, which is the one that we're doing the pre-order campaign for right now, it'll get you into the story. You'll understand his goal, what he's after. There's going to be some kick-ass action. It's in black and white. This series is going to be printed in single issue floppies, printed by us in-house. So we actually have proofs. We're doing a newsprint version. And
oh my God,
it's going to be super dope. And then issue 1, which comes after this one, is already drawn. It just needs to be lettered. Issue 2 is halfway drawn. Issue 3 is already written. So we're trying to really pace these out as professionally as possible, so you guys could get something from us regularly.
Have you thought, Phil, at all about delaying things to like the 4 to 5 year delay point?
My brother pitched me on that idea, but I can't. I'm not having it.
Quality takes time. So
hold that up. Thank you.
Wait, that's not black and white. Is the inside black and white?
The inside is black and white. So we have your boy Marcos Martins on this colored this cover.
But isn't he great? God,
he's amazing. I'm glad someone told you about him. But inside is black and white. The standard version is regular 70-pound interior paper, and then this is the retro newsprint edition. Of course. So it's colored retro style by our boy Blue Moon Cartoons. The cover here.
Oh, you got him. That guy's fucking
Smith
great too.
is the man.
He's a fantastic colorist.
He's so good. This will be obviously a reveal when you get it in your hands. You'll see the villain, and then the interiors is gray newsprint. It looks white because it's just on the white balance of the camera, but gray newsprint. We've upgraded the paper to 50 pounds, so technical mumbo jumbo, but as we go through the series, we're going to have every newsprint version is going to have the retro cover variant. So we're super excited about that.
Nice. I just love how that looks like it's by what's his face? Fucking Kubert. Joe Kubert. Looks like a Joe Kubert.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's dope.
Jaro asks bi-monthly or quarterly.
I can't promise anything now, but we'll see. I already have almost 3 issues done with this. So once we finish with like the first story arc, which I think is around 4 or 5 issues, we will then collect it and get the interiors colored. So and then maybe crowdfund that as a collected version.
Oh, you got a trailer. Good.
Yes.
I know everybody's going to yell at me if I don't like switch over to my YouTube share. So just give me 2 seconds.
They will? I don't think they will.
No. They've never done that. Yeah.
Oh,
completely innocent panel. Not guilty of anything ever. All right. Here's the trailer.
Once upon a time, there was a gunman. His heart was cursed to rot with every soul he took. He was a man who carved a path of revenge through bullets and blood. Man will find out how much of himself he's willing to lose in order to get back what's been taken from him. He's the man with no strings.
Hell yeah.
okay. That's the Doc Blaylock.
Yeah, it's a great voiceover.
Yeah. It looks awesome. That's a theme lately. A lot of people doing westerns.
Yeah, the genre's making a comeback.
Yeah, I've been working on this for like 3 years, just conceptualizing, plotting, and then when I finally hooked up with Oliver, who does the interior art, I had him do concept work because I had this idea for so long, and I'm like, I'm doing all this other stuff. I just want to see this character realized, conceptualized, and Oliver did an amazing job. He did a bunch of concept work for it. I'm like, we should just do that. We should get started on this. So,
dude, you should definitely put the concept art like in the back.
Oh yeah,
of every book because it's dope.
It's got concept art in the back of this issue that you guys will get. So you'll see where it all started from. And if you love 70s spaghetti westerns, this is definitely inspired by all that Django, obviously the Clint Eastwood stuff, Sergio Leone films. So it has the grit of a spaghetti western with the like twistedness of a Brothers Grimm fairy tale, and all with this crazy in your face 90s detailed line art.
That's a good pitch. Yeah.
Thanks.
Brothers Grimm western.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Are you impressed, Aldous?
It looks really good. I've already backed.
Aldous.
I don't know what else to say. It sounds like this guy knows all about this comic book shit.
He's trying to make up for all the horrible things he said about you.
No,
Jesus Christ, Brian, would you shut the fuck up?
I was with Jeremy and Aldous, and we talked about it. We loved it.
He'll be back. Don't worry, guys. Everything's good.
Oh, he left. Oh,
yeah. Add a little bit of an internet.
Oh my God, the world's better.
suddenly the birds are singing and like flowers are growing. It's weird. What inspired you to do a Western film? Has it been something that you've been wanting to do for a long time?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up. I spoke a little bit to Aldous about this on Jeremy's channel a couple weeks ago. Just like growing up and having, there's almost like a tradition, like an archaic tradition in America, it seems to me, of fathers showing their boys Westerns, just like, it's time. Like, you're 7 years old, let's go watch this Western. Let's go rent. Like, for me, it was, we'd go to the movie store, rental store, Blockbuster, be like, oh, let's rent this Western film. And they're like almost 3 hours long, but you still love them because they're
Which one was it? Which one was your first Western?
I had to be one of the Sergio Leone films, Fistful of Dollars.
Here's the big question, Phil. At the end of Shane, you've seen Shane?
No, I haven't. Don't kill me.
Never watched Shane.
Okay.
Okay.
Motherfucker dies.
No. Okay. So have you seen High Noon?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen Rio Bravo?
Yes.
Okay. What's the better film? High Noon or Rio Bravo? Is it the question or is it the answer?
I'm gonna say High Noon.
Why? Because this cuts to the quick of the American Western. One is the existential question and one is the existential answer. Why does High Noon matter more to you? Why is it the one that matters over the other?
I mean, specifically those two, I don't know. It just stands out more in my head for me, you know.
What's the answer?
Yes, to those in the chat. I always bring up Shane because Shane is a representation of the West, and the West never dies. Shane doesn't die; he rides off into the sunset. He's mortally wounded, but he does not die because the West never dies.
So that's it's left open to a question at the end of that film.
Absolutely. Because that's the quintessential Western. Everything is moral. There's a moral ambiguity that always needs to flow over everything. There's no absolutes. A great Western, and the Western is sacrosanct in America. It is the quintessential purely American story. And you have to be very, very careful when you're dealing with a Western story. If you're going to follow everything that a Western means, what it means. And you do a good job. I've read your script. Issue 0 does a good job of establishing the Western.
Thank you. Yeah, and I love the aspect of the different like subsects of Westerns. Like you said, Western is so quintessentially an American genre. You know, superhero comic books are very American as well. You could look at like professional wrestling is a very American medium of entertainment. And those things, they stand out at me. Westerns, when I was introduced to the spaghetti Western, I loved, even though it is a subversion of the American Western, I loved that subversion, that grit, that ambiguity, the gray line that these now new heroes that were coming out from Italy rode. And you see that, you could see the similarities between the American comic book industry and Western film, and how everybody in the early 70s in Italy pumped out so many spaghetti Westerns, it basically broke the genre and tanked the Western for 30 years or even till this day. And you look at comic books and how the 90s subverted so much of what previously came before it in comic books that it tanked the comic book industry. I think that's fascinating.
There's a lot to unpack there in those statements. Yeah. Well, so the Western is the archetype for the American hero.
All right, Phil. Young Guns, great Western or not a Western?
Which one?
The only one that exists.
Not
the one without
There's
Christian
two.
Slater.
There's two,
There's
and we're going to
two.
talk about them.
The second
both.
one is
Anything Christian Slater is in does not exist.
I think I like 2 better.
Oh, you suck. I'm not backing your book. You suck.
I might like 2 better too, actually.
Two's a better Western, man.
Yeah.
Because it has the question.
Yeah, that's true at the end.
Is he or isn't he?
Is he dead or is he still alive walking down that road? That's great. Love that.
1 is a great film. It's a fun film, but 2 is a great Western because it leaves you with the question. And it's the question is always better. It needs to end on the question. We want to end on
I
the
like that.
question. So
I'm gonna write
tonight's
that down.
question is Brian Christow coming back?
I DM'd him. We'll see.
He said he was. He said he was.
He's a good guy. He's good natured. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Did you see that Western Star just passed away today? What's her
No.
name?
Who?
Robert Redford?
Well, that was last week. Claudia Cardinelli, who is the chick from Once Upon a Time in the West. That good-looking chick. She passed away today. R.I.P. Which is probably my favorite Western.
Yeah, she's a smoking hot fox back in her day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rip.
Travel back in time to hit that. Yeah, I mean, Unforgiven is a good example of also.
So has the entire experience of Psycho Slumber emboldened you or soured you on doing team ups?
Crossovers?
Crossovers, team ups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, it did feel like it was like very driven by myself. When we were going through the promotion process and stuff like that. I mean, I promoted it as if it was solely my own. You know, I didn't do, I think, any less work on that. So I don't know if I don't think it's soured me from it. I think it has shown me that I should definitely stay down the path that I'm going forward with building the catalog that I have, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's important. I think that's why getting this series out there as well, because I've, kind of sat on it for so long. And now that we have this capability of printing our own books and trying to, I think this will help build a wider audience as well, putting out single issues more frequently. I think that'll do us a good service.
The work always speaks for itself.
I
think. And there's nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I think you promoting it as one of your own projects, that's always to your credit. Now you respect your work and respect whatever property has your name associated with it. So I think, yeah. Was it less of a commercial success than anything that came after it for you?
Well, we haven't. I think that's the last thing we did, right? So this Western would be our next one since Psycho Slumber, because we fulfilled that earlier this year, right?
Yeah. Perhaps.
Snugs in the chat says Western. No, more Lost Pages.
Oh my God, Snugs, you're gonna love the Western. More Lost Pages are coming. I just got page 2 of the Lost Pages 4 turned into me by Dan Dahl, who's
they were lost. Snugs. He found them. They're on the way.
They're coming. They're coming. Don't worry.
Have you decided to venture into cinema at all yet? A lot of people are dabbling in AI.
Did you say Shigama?
Cinema.
Shigama. No, Shigama. He said Shigama.
Yeah. Have you dived into dumpsters lately?
Oh no, I don't dwell in dumpsters. But
don't dwell, but do dive.
But no, I don't. Cinema, I don't think so. Like AI.
No, there's no.
It's like you're setting up something that you want to talk about. Well, Red.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm asking. Like, I'm
just saying. Like, we all know Fowler's talking about doing a kung fu movie. Is there a Diaz brothers Fowler kung fu movie coming out? Have you been working with Fowler on a script for a kung fu movie? Because if there is, we need to know about it right now.
I think now,
Phil.
A year and a half ago. Yeah, I remember him talking about this a year and a half of them, but no, I think he's put that on the back burner for now.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, I just mean that a lot of people are playing with AI, and they're able to, get things of film quality,
right,
produced for relatively cheap. And I'm wondering if you've ever considered going down that route yourself.
No, I don't. We have not considered that. I know, our day job, we dabble in making video games and stuff like that. So that would probably be something before anything like a film would entail, because but we're more familiar with that. But right now it's getting stories out there, building a foundation where maybe someday we could branch out, but that's our focus is the stories.
Games are kind of like a tough territory to venture into, right? Like you'd have to come up with the gameplay to make it worthwhile as a game, and then add in your story. So,
yeah, sure. They actually, our first series, Magic Cop, was conceptualized as a side scroller beat 'em up game like Streets of Rage, Turtles in Time, stuff like that. So that's where that actually story began, and then we branched out and made it because we had wrote the story or multiple stories for a story mode, and then made it into a comic. And that was our first break into crowdfunding and getting our name out there. So
Snugs wants to know if you consider porn.
No, he says prawn.
Prawns. Oh, damn it. My filthy
That's
mind.
like a Australian shrimp.
In the gutter. Yeah, my bad. Well, so how do you guys
disparage my show's name?
How do you guys actually explore that avenue of gaming? Like, you don't have developers working for you. So have you been looking into building them yourselves, or how exactly are you?
So we work in gaming, and we've worked in Unity before, which is a program to, a foundational program for video games. So if we had our whole team on board as the project, it would be pretty simple to make a side-scrolling beat 'em up, especially now because we know we have 3D modelers that work with us on our team at our day job. And yeah, I mean, the only thing would be funding, but if it was a production for the studio I work for, that would be no problem.
Yeah, well, Red, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. Phil is a dynamo.
I know people. I just have to get my boss to sign.
He knows people. He is people. That's what he does.
Well, a lot of people, they just utilize an AI tool, and they are building their own games. So
sure, I think that programming is going to be one of the first things taken out by artificial intelligence, or this ChatGPT or whatever, because you could literally teach them your game, and you could be like, hey, there's a bug here, can you find it, tell me how to get rid of it, and then you just copy and paste code into whatever you're working on. That's
you could probably
how it's gonna go.
And you could hire a coder to do prompting for you dirt cheap. Like it's not even a thing.
Yeah, but we're focused on the comics, getting these series out. Like I said, for this Western series, The Man with No Strings, I have this planned on being an ongoing series, trying to get it out on a regular schedule. And I think this could be a series that, if there's good response for it, it's a series that runs longer than 20 issues. And I hope that it does. I think that would be awesome, because there's a lot of story to tell here, like in the past of where we're starting in issue 0 and going into the future.
Tell us about your love life, Phil.
It's good.
Are you getting laid?
I'm going to have anniversary.
You're not getting married anytime soon, are you?
Who knows?
When are you going to have a bunch of little Diaz's running around?
I don't know.
He's having an anniversary. You hear him? He's already married.
Well, not togetherness anniversary.
Oh, a fake anniversary.
Yeah, one of those fake.
Yeah, when are you gonna
a play pretend anniversary?
Yeah, I don't want to hear you say that.
Oh, well.
How old am I?
No, I was saying, grow up, be a man, and have some bambitos running.
Yeah, I just turned 32.
Mouth to feed. You're still a spring chicken. Yeah, 32. That's not impressive.
No, I remember when I was 25.
Yeah, you're gonna be 50 years old when your kids are walking up that graduation aisle. Better get started yesterday.
Yeah. You want to be one of these people having kids in their 40s, giving them Tylenol?
No.
Yeah, a bunch of weirdos.
What are you waiting on, Phil? Get to it.
I need my comic kingdom, first.
No, see, if you have a wife, you can make her work for you for free.
Yeah. Teach her how to prompt AI and make video games.
And then if you have a kid, they also do work.
Do they?
They do.
Is that what happens?
That's what the Koreans do.
It's interesting.
Yeah. They build business empires and families.
I'll have to think about this.
Exactly. Your seeds could be making.
No, it was great for the very first time ever. At 7 years old, my kid was finally able to, when you have kids around, it basically takes you to do longer to do stuff because you have to help them help you.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you help me do this, and then you take double the time because you're teaching them how and stuff. For the very first time, my kid actually was helpful and helped me get stuff done faster than I normally would on my own. Takes about 7 years, but they get there. But in terms of Psycho Slumber, I thought it was ultimately a rousing success for you, Phil, because I'm more interested than ever in your IPs. And in terms of having another book in the catalog, it's always great to have something that you could republish later on at no additional cost to yourself.
Yeah, that's thank you. I appreciate that. It was fun to work on. Actually, Oliver, who did the art for Man with No Strings, he helped with some of the art edits as well. So shout outs to him. Worked with Juan Gideon, did the rest of the interior artwork on that. And yeah, I'm glad it's in the catalog now. I thought it was a fun project. And if you guys have not checked out the previous works of the Lost Pages, definitely check them out on ZAID Comics. Crimstone is in, I think, all of the Lost Pages volumes, so there's definitely stuff to catch up on.
Yeah, the Psycho Slumber, when I finished reading it, I was like, that's good. That's pretty good. So when people say, hey, what's some good, what's some decent books you might recommend? I'm in my head, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I might recommend that one. That was a fun read, a quick read.
Cool.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good book. Congratulations.
I mean, do you have aspirations to work for the mainstream, or are you happy in the indie scene so far?
No, I mean, I have so many books to get to that are ours, and I really want to see them come out. And like the Lost Pages has an ending, and it's at I think we have 3 more books till we get to it. So I know I see all these people in the chat, especially Snug, shouting out the Lost Pages. I think about that all the time, and getting to that end point, and just to have that on a shelf, a collected version of all those stories would be amazing. So that's what my focus is on right now. So I don't know, mainstream work, who knows if that's in the cards. But for now, the focus is getting our stuff out there, and it's gonna have, we'll see. There's room for spin-offs, of course. A lot of characters are in that series, but yeah, I think focusing on ZAID Comics, I do enjoy going to conventions and meeting new readers and readers that have picked up our stuff throughout the years. That's super cool. So getting that out there, and then now with this new series and the ability to print our own issues, I think getting into local stores is going to be much more viable from the store standpoint, because for so long since we've been doing this, I'd always go to my local shop and be like, hey, here's our book, check it out. Would we be able to get a spot in the store? And always the answer is like, oh, we don't have local, we don't carry local books, or are you in Diamond, or oh, nothing really sells here but Batman. Your stuff looks awesome, like it's it's high quality art, but maybe it's too many pages. The price point's too high. But now we could print our own books and split up our previous series into single issue floppies, and the price point could be as low as they want, you know? So we're going to try to do that.
Dillard, thank you very much for joining us. So I realize you have to run. And
I'm sorry, but I've been having this thing. I need it.
It's good talking with you, man. I appreciate the feedback.
Cool. Have a good night.
See you guys too. Good night.
See you Dom.
Later. Yeah, I don't know. I know like those markets are like tried and true, and you know, people have pursued them from the dawn of time. There's the boyhood dream of being in the comic book shop, right? Because it was so cool when you were young and going in there. But I don't know. Looking outside of it, I think is the way to think about how to really propagate these IPs a little bit further than the limits of the comic book store, which right now is just pop figures anyway. Like, you know,
well, I mean, there's a huge hobby. The bulk of comic book readers, that's where they're getting their comics from, you know? So I think it's not trying to pursue that option is a disservice to ourselves, you know?
Comics have like willingly relegated themselves to the comic book store.
Sure.
Like
Definitely.
I was at the airport. I'm going into the bookstore there, and there's like a whole rack of manga that they're selling, you know, for you to read on the plane. And then a few comic collected editions. And then if I go in a gas station, there's a rack there of comics that they're selling in plastic baggies. They're not moving.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
I'm surprised that there's even comic books in a gas station. I mean,
they're trying.
At least, I mean, that's good news to me, because I would be down to do that, you know?
Yeah, they're trying. And it's DC primarily. But every day I go in that gas station, I get my cup of coffee, and I'm like, they haven't sold anything. So what's going on here?
It's interesting.
You go into like Costco or Sam's Club, and they got a whole section there for the kids comics, the dog thing. What is it?
Yeah, Dog Man.
Yeah, Captain Underpants and stuff. I don't know. There has to be, like, we're in the indie scene. You know, we're taking the most risks because we're on YouTube, you know, marketing at the smallest possible levels. We're the Wild West here. We're the frontiersmen. We're blazing the trails. There's got to be new marketplaces that we can open up beyond just the comic shop, because I feel like there's limitations there.
But you just cited the guy that did it. Dave Pilkey, who's the creator of Dogman, did it. He breached that gap. He went from doing just a strip to a book, and then brought it forth, and it's everywhere now.
Yeah.
But it's a very simple graphic novel. There's no detail there. It's the same argument against everything that Jim Davis did with Garfield. It's the same argument that everything that Peanuts did. It's the same argument that everything that even to the largest degree, that Dave Sim did with Cerebrus. In the indie scene, it was purely based upon both the art and the context of what he was producing, and a force of will, and he made it happen. So I guess what are you looking for, Well-Read? What do you want?
I'm wondering. Well, first of all, I'm wondering how to get eyes in the IPs. I don't think, you know, comic book store traffic is the way to do it. I'm curious if the idea of always having a gateway to bring you to the book ultimately is the way to go. And since Phil is like talking about, hey, I want to make games are maybe the way to sell the comic book, you know.
I mean, you still have to market the game stuff. Is you still have to market it online, you know. I mean, that's a long scheme idea. It's a long form game idea, is to be like, oh, we have this game, and then you have to build a following with this other facet of media, this other form of media, and hopefully that takes off, and then you could point people to this. Oh, this is a comic that I did 5 years ago. You know, it's. I mean,
I agree with Phil's sentiment, and I think he's got the right goal at the end of the day, but we all need to admit that literacy is at an all-time low. People aren't reading at all.
Right.
Kids especially aren't reading. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's a comic or whether it's a book, just people aren't reading. And it's not just kids, it's people aren't reading.
For sure.
So you have to breach the gap. Does producing a video game that has some kind of association with something produce somebody that's reading? Well, we should already see that. We should see that. Are there Roblox books? Are there Minecraft books that are getting numbers on people reading? We're not seeing that. We're seeing the opposite. We're seeing a slide in the opposite direction.
Right.
How do you self-correct that? I don't think you can. I think we're at a cultural epoch that we're shifting away from reading into a multidimensional aspect of kids interacting with things. We need to stop trying to assume and project formats that were what we understood 20, 30 years ago onto kids today. That's not going to happen. The comic book is a dead medium in the same way that the dime store pulp novel is a dead medium. In the same way that everything, the comic strip to a large degree, is a dead medium. Understand who your market is, and understand who you are marketing to, and understand that it's shifted. Everything's shifted. You're not going to get 8-year-olds to read a comic anymore, because it's just not there. That market's gone.
Yeah. I don't think the make a game is the answer to getting your new IP out there. I think it's one path that will be probably just as difficult as crowdfunding stuff. But I don't think we should be like, oh, comic books aren't selling, so let's not even try to get into comic shops. No,
I'm not saying that at all.
No, I know. I think that's
understand your audience.
Yeah, I'm the one saying that.
I think Well Read is saying that, or something similar to that. I think it's definitely worth a shot, and I think now that we have a format that would be worth it for a comic shop to hold and attempt at selling, I think it's going to be more alluring for them.
I agree, but what's your price point, Phil? Like,
it's I think it could be very good for them. I mean, right now our lowest is the newsprint, which is $10. Or on the site.
I think that's great for me being willing to support. If you want to go down this road, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
But I think $10 for a newsprint for me to support you as an indie creator, as a collector, that's awesome, right? Yeah. I'm there. And I think you're going to get a lot of guys that are there, but I don't think when you're talking about the page count, let's say it's 60 pages. That's a hard sell for $10. You got to get that price point down to 5, if not 3, before it's going to sell in a shop.
Well, I'm talking about floppy comics. If I was to go through a retailer, it would obviously be cheaper for the retailer to buy, say, 10 issues of my issue 0 of this book, and I would get a percentage of sales, or because it's all going to be like, right now where we are, a shop is going to prefer to do it on consignment, right? So it would work like that. Or if we were through like a Diamond or something like that, I mean, we're printing these, so we could cut them a deal on a handful of books, and it would be worth it for someone walking in there and not, I think it could be on par with a mainstream price point,
Right. Well, I think we are. I think the whole scene is poised rather well for another Turtles, quote unquote Turtles, to emerge.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a question of what, if, and when. I think you've got your finger on the pulse of the if, in the sense of you've got a good idea of story, you've got a good idea of the story and the action balance. You're there with art. I think the art in this book is fantastic. I've seen it all for the issue 0. My question would be is to make the jump. What is the jump that's going to be? What separates this from everything else out there for the win and now?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I don't see. Is I see a good book, a great book in some contexts, but I think it takes that next level. And do you see that this book has that next level? And dude, we're going to be talking about all this on Friday over on the Gutter.
Right. For sure.
So just maybe some of these questions are things to think about. But what separates you? What's going to make that wall break outside of where we're at right now with comics in the LCS scene of what
Sure.
makes this sell? What's the breakout? Is it this? Is it something about this? Is it something? Are you close to it? What is it?
Yeah.
And it's almost an impossible question because you don't know what's going to break out. I
Sure,
get
what's
that.
that thing?
I get that. I'm just asking,
the X factor.
what's that? What in your head is this it? Is this the one that you're putting all the chips behind?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting because as a creator and as a writer, you don't know that, especially if you have multiple projects going on at once. You have multiple stories that you're telling. It's like I would love to interview or just talk with some writers that have written in the mainstream and how much a mainstream deadline dictates what goes into your script and how edited it gets down and how rough it is before it gets to the shelf, because it fascinates me on the difference between writing for that format monthly or writing for crowdfunding when you get to write a full story. You try to put as much effort into each story when you're making it, and the question of what's that X factor that makes it pop off it's impossible to know.
Well, there was this idea of like boutique comics, I think originally for crowdfunding, right?
Yeah,
we're supposed to be getting more complete narratives, and more high grade products, I think, for the amount of money that was being spent for the crowdfunds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like that market is just so image comic collectors, people who are willing to pay a little bit extra for a property. They're looking at it as partially an investment. They're not necessarily invested, totally in the craft itself either. They don't necessarily like the stories or what have you. They want to just slab it or whatever and view it as something that they can retire on one day. I don't know. I just think the reason why I'm like out of the whole let's chase the LCS is just I feel like it's thinking small, and I feel like it's short-sighted, and I'm not trying to be derogatory saying that.
No, like
I'm just saying like fish in the bigger waters.
Right,
somehow.
But what's the bigger water? I think the bigger water that you are.
Where are the 8-year-olds? Where are the 8-year-olds?
They're not reading comics.
They're looking
They're not reading.
iPads.
They're not reading comics. Where are
Yeah.
they? Where
They're
are
looking
they?
at iPads.
They're playing Roblox.
Yeah.
Well, then hopefully they're not playing Roblox, because then they're playing with some like
They're
weirdo
playing Minecraft. But you're
old
saying
guy.
you're grasping at a water that does not exist yet that someone needs to build.
Someone,
You know?
yeah. Well, that's where we are. We're the frontier. We need to be thinking.
Understand
of
that
these
you're
things.
dealing. No, here's the thing. Like comics are dead. They're dead. Understand it and accept it. Like the days of you going to the grocery store and comics are there at the newsstand are over and they're gone.
They're not
in the
dead.
same way that in the 70s and the 80s, the dime store novel world was gone and it was dead. They were no longer republishing pulps after 76. It was over and it was dead. But there is a small market, and if you can get that small market, there's still people that are buying them. But you need to cultivate that market. You need to get that market interested in it. But you can't. You're not. It's not the days of yore. You're never going to get that again. Of being able to get an 8-year-old that has a comic in their hand and they become your fan forever. Like that's over. Those days are done.
Right.
They're never going to happen again.
I think that's why you have to, just like the big, let's not use Kickstarter, guys, we're boycotting Kickstarter. Be as many places as possible with your books. Like,
yes,
if you could make,
you should have your own website. You should be on Indiegogo. You should be on Zoop.
Kickstarter.
You should be on Kickstarter. You should be on My Comic.
Everywhere
you possibly can.
I don't know.
Harness
Do you have
the customers?
Do you have to be the Swiss Army knife of like, production to be able to make sufficient sales to stay in business? Like, have a website, have a,
Well, it
advertiser,
depends.
have a
Like you
have
can
a
produce a
YouTube
good
site.
product and have a great product, and if a person with a large enough, following just shits all over you and says you're a piece of shit, irregardless of your product, it doesn't matter.
The premise is
That's
wrong.
the nature of the business.
The premise is wrong. Comics are not dead. Comics
are dead. Well read. Comics are dead. Comics are a dying medium. Look, this is what I don't understand. Why is this so hard to fucking accept?
I love my
comics
comic
are
books.
A dying medium.
Don't
why
put
is
on
that
my comics
difficult?
on this.
Well, Red, where are you getting your comics?
No. What I'm saying is to you guys, comics evolved. Comics.
No, they didn't. The market evolved. Comics stayed static. Comics are still comics.
People are still reading animated.
No, people are not reading
storytelling.
Reading animated storytelling?
Numbers disagree with what you were saying, well read.
They still read cartoons.
Fewer people are reading more, but more people are reading less. That's what book sales tell you. Book sales tell you that more people are buying more books, or the fewer people are buying more books. So you know that fewer people are reading more, but more people are reading less.
Fewer people are reading more. Right. Okay.
No. Fewer people are reading more. The people that read more. The people that don't read less. It's not a hard concept. You can look at book sales and figure this out.
Yeah.
Every major bookseller will tell you this. That's why major booksellers are having a problem right now.
I'd say force your kids to read comics and force your kids to read my comics. All right.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. I'd agree with
Divinity
literature.
Comics has got it right. You're not just selling a book anymore. You're selling an experience. And if you can sell a better experience, then you're fucking done. Like he's right. The problem is sell a better experience than a multimedia experience. That's a hard sell. You're trying to sell an 8-year-old. We live in a world where the superhero is already proliferated. There is no concept. By the time a kid is 5, they already understand who Superman is. That's the proliferation of the world. You cannot
it's not because of comics.
Yeah, you cannot expose a child that's 5, 6, 7 into a character that's better than Superman. They've already experienced it. Or if they're on the other side and they want to experience vindication, Batman. They've already got it.
But every new character.
No, not every new character. Every new character is a trope. It needs a new medium. Superman was Doc Savage. He transitioned from pulp to comic. Transition format. The Shadow became Batman. You need a new format. What's the new format? It's multimedia. Comics are a dead medium. You need.
That's what I was saying is multimedia, but
you. How do you get there? How are you?
Not with the Swiss Army knife solution. That's for sure.
If you're gonna do a comic, you need to have that comic resonate with a small market first, and then it needs to grow. In the same
Only for
way,
market research.
Yeah.
You need to figure out which IPs are worth pushing. That's what I think. I think that people still, and I think children, they still read stories where there's images on a page and there's word balloons. And they discover new characters and new IPs, through that experience. That is not dead. Like that experience.
No, it is dead. That is
still
dead.
Exists.
No, it's dead.
Well, I mean, they're not all watching TikTok videos, right?
Okay, yes, you're right. There's a 1% that aren't.
That's
most
true.
of them are.
The Amish community is all about a new form.
Sell to
Go
the
out
Amish.
and exploit it.
Phil, you've gotten the mutton chops. You could totally be Amish.
That's true.
Yeah.
Look, I'm just saying, like, I'm not. It's not an absolute. There's no absolutes in life. But you need to understand that we are at the end of an age, and you need to adapt. Pulp novels adapted. They did the smart thing. They went, hey, we're going to take all of our best material and we're going to republish it in the 60s and the 70s, and we're going to get the best artists we possibly can. And for the Shadow novels, they got Jim Steranko. And for all of the Doc Savage novels, they got a bunch of great artists, and we got a rejuvenation of that material. That's what needs to happen. But what that needs to happen with is an understanding of, look, you're not exactly. Phil knows what I'm talking about. This is shit that was 30 to 40 years old when it was republished.
Yeah. That's from republished from the 70s, right?
And these are all from that book in particular is from the early 70s. But if you're gonna, why? And those sold amazingly, but they sold amazingly because of the marketing that was related to the material.
So let me give you guys maybe a thought process to mull over. Why are games like Fortnite, Minecraft, and Roblox that you mentioned earlier popular when arguably they are lower quality games than the games that have come out previously?
I can tell you. I can tell you Fortnite's instant gratification. There's no waiting around for anything. You're thrown into a game in the last 20 minutes or until you die, and then you can jump right back in. It's like scrolling through TikTok, but as a video game. If you're not doing well, you can jump off, reload it back in, and you'll jump into another one.
That doesn't apply to Minecraft, though.
No, but for Minecraft and Roblox, Minecraft especially, Minecraft fulfills the builder aspect of that, the creative aspect of that. I can build whatever I want in Minecraft.
All of those IPs are social experiences. That's the reason why they're popular. People are investing in their hobbies.
We're no longer. We used to exist as a stoic society. Men used to be stoics.
That's why reading sucks, because you have to sit there and do it by yourself.
Solitary.
Yes.
But if you're doing it in a group setting, suddenly, the wine moms getting together for their book club sounds appealing because people are doing it online, and they can have people that they actually enjoy doing it with to experience that.
But there's a level of disassociativeness, right? It's the disconnect. It's I can interact with somebody, but I have no connection to them.
Yes, that's right. And that's what people want. They want that in their Fortnite. They want that in their Minecraft. They want that in their TikToks, where they're following somebody who's like posting every dumb, lame thing that they do every single day, but they feel like they have this parasocial relationship with them simply because they get to consume their dumb daily experiences.
But can you blame them when their parents sit on fucking YouTubes and talk about shit about this?
Yeah, my kids hate me totally for this. Yeah, exactly. But there's got to be a way to promote the comics through that avenue is what I'm trying to get at.
How do you get somebody to read a comic that doesn't want to read?
How do you get somebody to play some lame 2D game that's all sprites, and all you're doing is like chipping away at every inch of that freaking environment so that you can lay, poorly represented images of structures and things that you built in that world. Like, it's the lamest, dumbest experience, but people do it because
how is that any different than you building blocks?
Yeah, or a model, a car.
Well, exactly. And you guys are talking about hobbies that people were doing 100 years ago, and they're doing it now, but they're enjoying doing it
digitally, because
they're doing it digitally.
Change.
That's not a new thing. Like, World of Warcraft was better, StarCraft was better. You could build a fort, you could build an army.
How was StarCraft better?
Because you had strategy involved, and there was all command and conquer.
How is there not strategy involved
in Minecraft?
In Roblox,
There's
hundreds of games in Roblox
I'm saying
games.
I'm saying people would play Jax.
You're conflating.
People would play Jax online if it was a satisfying social experience. People would play tic-tac-toe.
Yes,
if they could get enough of a social experience.
It's a feedback loop.
Yes.
That's
people
my
would
point.
figure out a way to read these comics and share in the IPs.
How
if
are
it was
you
a social
disconnected? No, reading. Everything about the last 30 years shows, every study shows that people will do everything but do anything other than reading. For the vast majority.
You think the reading is the anathema? Like,
yeah, well read. What are you talking about? You run a review show and you won't even read the books that you're reviewing.
How dare you checkmate me? My own logical fallacies. I'm just saying, guys, like, think about these things. Like, if you want to talk about the modern marketplaces, you have to actually think about the modern marketplaces. You can't just be like, oh, in the 90s, people loved the LCS.
You're right. Nothing
so, like,
I've
30
said
years later, let's go to the LCS.
Hour has been related to the modern marketplace. No, you're correct, Well-Read. I'm not thinking about it at all.
Right.
People buy, people buy comics still. Well-Read, right? They might be, over 37, but Absolute Batman is selling.
It's a dying market.
Absolute Batman made the this is worthwhile mentioning. Absolute Batman has now made the New York Times best-selling top 10.
Yeah,
you guys really
it's in the top 10. Dave Milkey, who you just threw some fucking shade at, by the way, Well-Read, has 4 books. 4 books in the New York Times top 10.
Who's Dave Milk? Oh, the Dog Man guy.
Yeah. He's got 4.
He's also a massive.
They were number 8 last I checked.
He's also a massive lefty, so like that guy can catch the taint.
Oh yeah, because politics immediately matter. We're going to dismiss him because it's politics. Politics
that's right.
disagree with us, so we're going to dismiss. No, fuck that, man.
He put pride colors on Captain Underpants. It's unforgivable.
Captain Underpants is a classic. Divinity Comics says Global Comics is the new comic shop. Yeah, I mean, there's a huge audience of only digital reading comic consumers out there. We have stuff on Global Comics. We're trying it out. It seems to be really cool, and they seem to be growing and are pulling in mainstream books as well, which is only going to help the sea of indie creators that is on that platform. But I think you should not dismiss the mainstream comic reader, which these are the people that are picking up comic books, which is a niche medium. They're picking up comic books weekly, no matter, disregarding how old they are. They're getting them from their comic shops, or they're getting them mailed to them from their comic shops. So especially at a time where, because of DC, comics are doing better than usual, better than they have in the last 5 years, no matter what percentage that is. It seems like more people are reading comics in the shops because of the stuff they're doing at Skybound and DC. I would like to be in the shops while I'm running my own site, while I'm on Kickstarter, while I'm on Indiegogo. I don't think being a Swiss Army knife, I think it's probably a necessity right now if you are an indie comic creator.
I think it is until you build an audience, and then
For sure.
I think once you build an audience, then you're fine. But you need to build that audience, and Divinity Comics mentions they are, but they're less and less every day. No, absolutely, man. It's a dwindling market. Every day that goes by, the comic market shrinks, and everybody needs to immediately stop thinking that you're selling to a 13-year-old, you're selling to an 8-year-old, and you're selling based off of that, and understand what market you're selling to. DC understands that, Marvel understands that. That's why they're skewing their books where they are. DC Black Label is a great example of this. They ended Vertigo, they fired everybody at Vertigo, and then they adjusted to the market, and DC Black Label, for the most part, has been doing a relatively good job. They've had a lot of misses, but they've had a lot more hits. And that's important because that's what they're looking to do. They're looking to sell to a mature audience, and and everything will skew slowly that way because that's where their sales are pointing them.
Can I say something crazy? And like you guys
as opposed to everything else you've said tonight.
Yeah, and then you guys can tell me I'm an idiot after I say it, but I'm just gonna throw it out there as an idea. What if like building an IP was a communal experience? What if like you were in a Discord, you were accessible to an audience on a daily basis, and they were contributing. Crazy. They were contributing to your IP through a fanfic process where they could even develop branching storylines through AI, because AI is going to be a thing that everybody's going to be using.
Jesus
and
Christ,
and the storytelling is no longer a monolith. It's no longer the purview of a single creator.
What do you want? What do you want out of a comic book?
The creator is the brainchild.
Who owns the IP and who makes money off of it?
Right.
Well,
what do you want? What do you want out of a comic book? What do you want?
You would ultimately own the IP.
No, what do you want? What do you want out of a comic book?
Ecosystem
do you want a fun story, or do you want some kind of ownership?
Yeah, well, I mean both, right? But
no, not both. No.
Yeah.
How would you feel? You're
right.
I want a direct answer to this question. What do you want out of a comic book?
Yeah, as a reader.
Do you want ownership? You want ownership of a comic book that you buy and you read?
As a
you want to buy like super special Secret Agent X, and you want to go like, hey, I personally need some kind of involvement into what's going to happen to Super Agent X.
I think my idea actually sounds good. The more people are telling me that I'm stupid for saying it, I'm going to try it now.
No, that sounds like building a community of people that will give you money.
No, I didn't say they would give me money. No, it's not about.
We want ideas.
It's about the communal experience.
You still have yet to answer the question. What do you want out of a comic book?
Well, I mean,
do you want a good story, or do you want a feeling of belonging?
No, I'd want. Well, okay, so me personally, I want an IP that speaks to the zeitgeist and has some.
What zeitgeist?
Whatever the current culture.
Your zeitgeist.
Well, I mean, zeitgeist.
How do I know what your zeitgeist is?
It's gay usually. Just look at the.
Okay, so you want a super gay zeitgeist?
Yeah, an Aubrey Citizen
that you want ownership in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, well, just turn to Marvel. They've already got Chicago.
You guys are just trying to poo-poo everything I say.
Well, no, you're being retarded.
No,
so.
I'm trying to gamify the experience of ingesting a comic book so that multiple people at once can enjoy it at the same time.
I'm trying to create a multifaceted experience.
I think that's what he's trying to do.
It's a multifaceted
stop
experience.
Explaining in a
Because
relative
that's what people
way that makes sense what Well Read is trying to say.
It's a
because much more fun
multifaceted
just fucking-
experience, just like Minecraft. Would you play Minecraft if it's offline?
I would not play Minecraft ever.
Well, I mean, like kids in general, would it even be the phenomenon that it is if it was offline? It would not. Everybody
No, I
wants a
think it still would be.
multifaceted experience. No,
No, I think it still would be in the same way that like
It's
Sim
not-
City was, where you
it's-
played
it's not
Sim
original.
City offline.
well,
That's
I
true.
mean, that was a different time. We're talking
No,
about today.
no. Now you're conflating.
We're talking about today's market and today's youth.
But
yeah,
there's
I agree.
what you're talking about for comics was comic book forums, where people would go to comic book forums and discuss the stories that they read by themselves with people and make friends and little communities. To an extent, crowdfunding has aspects of what you're looking for, where you are pitching in to help create a thing, in this case, a comic book, and you feel a part of this, for lack of a better term, community that helped this project come into being what it is. And I think that's probably an aspect of why CG did so well in the past, and why we see Ripa doing very well, because he has built a community aspect where you see regular faces in the chat when you go to his streams. You all feel like you are a part of creating this project. That's, if there's another way to do that, I don't think directly reading the book at the same time. I mean, you could go panel by panel on a stream for the first time and premiere.
You know, like the Star Wars expanded universe, and how like you got all those novels that like branched off of the main. Okay.
No, I don't know.
Well, fuck me. I don't know what we're talking about then.
The days of having cross-referential media they're over. It's gone.
All right, Phil. Hopefully you make it in a comic book shop and somebody buys. The comic book shop is surviving on variant covers. Like the amount of readership there is dismal, frankly.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to single-handedly.
It depends on the shop.
It's a collector's hobby. It's not even a reader's hobby.
It
anymore.
depends. God damn it! It depends on the shop. I live with. I have 9 LCSs within an hour's drive of me.
Yeah.
There are only 2 that fit the description that you're selling. The rest of them are doing fine.
The other ones are like filing for bankruptcy. They're getting ready.
Yeah, all of them. You're right. All of comics is fucking failing. That's why DC is still okay.
Mark Miller.
That's why Marvel is still okay. That's why Mark Miller is making millions of dollars. You're right. Well read.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it the film division though that keeps them
afloat? Why the fuck?
Do you know Mark Miller? Do you know Mark? You know of Mark Miller? Well read.
Yeah. I kind of heard of the guy.
You should think about getting him on for your next review. But Mark Miller does a podcast sometimes. The last 2 years, he's done an episode with local comic book shop owners.
Mark Miller's mistake was actually talking to actual owners. Well read knows better.
So yeah, he had
despite the fact that Well Read is despite the fact that Mark Miller has talked to multiple shop owners and said that, like, yeah, shit's good, but it could be better, or shit's bad, but it could be better. Well Read knows better. He's saying they're all going to fail.
No, I'm not saying that. Like it'll persist.
You literally just did.
The consumer base is dying off is the problem. Like in the next 20 years, everybody who walks into an LCS is going to be
with an oxygen tank
able to do that anymore. And where are the young people to carry on the tradition?
I agree.
And so
with
how
that.
does
I agree with that.
how does this
Did you
laboratory of
fret
IPs?
about this in the early 80s? Did you fret about? Did you
in the
fret
80s?
about
That was the same issue.
Did
Maybe.
you fret about it in the early 80s?
Well,
About
I
the
mean, I
pulp
wasn't.
scene? Did you
Yeah, I
fret
was.
about it? Were
I
you
was a
worried about the
twinkle.
dimes? Were you worried about the dime store mystery novel? Were
I
you
was.
worried about it?
I was a twinkle in my dad's, ball sack.
Were
In
you
the
worried
early
about
80s.
it in the early 90s?
Early 80s.
In the 90s, 90s, I know like Marvel filed for
Were you
bankruptcy.
worried? When did you become concerned? I understand your immediate concern about the comic industry, but when was your concern about the literary word?
Oh, when did I first worry that people weren't going to read it ever again?
Yes. When did that happen?
When I stopped reading.
Which was when?
Around five or
Okay.
six. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't know. Like it's everything changes, right? And you just got to go where the youth market is. That's all I'm saying. And they want
So let me
multifaceted
ask you this.
experiences.
Here's another real. I apologize. I'm asking a lot of really hard questions.
No, it's
How
fine.
the fuck did TSR succeed in selling so many fucking books during the 90s?
Prostitution? I don't know. Who's TSR?
His publishing company, I would assume.
You seriously? You don't know who TSR is?
Phil, I blame you for this oversight. You were my research guy.
I blame you. You're the one that invited all this on the show.
So Forgotten Realms, Dragonlance, like all of.
Oh yeah, okay. I vaguely recollect. Sure.
Fantasy publisher.
Yeah.
So all of those books that sold really well during the 90s, like
right.
Did the readership die?
No, but people still read back then.
Okay.
In a solitary setting.
Okay, so is there a correlation between people reading fantasy literature and comics?
Yeah,
all
the same, Coomer incels are probably enjoying both.
Okay, so like one of the major factors of TSR spinning off and having to sell was their literary numbers went to shit.
Sure.
Okay, so why would we not correlate those with comics?
That they would have to, because their sales numbers went to shit and they had to sell?
Well, yeah.
So comics are going to do the same thing.
Okay, so we're in agreement.
Yes.
That numbers.
We are brothers in.
Okay, so facts
agreements.
Facts now reference our agreement, and now everything agrees with it. So now where do we go from there?
I think we need a TSR revival. That's the only answer.
So I pondered this the other day. Sidebar.
People aren't reading novels. They're not reading graphic. They're not reading graphic novels. They're not reading fucking comics.
Wackass reads novels.
Your solution is to if we just do more of the same, eventually we'll get them back.
What do I do though? So I pondered this like yesterday, where your point came up. Well read that soon all the comic readers are going to be on oxygen and can't get to their LCS to buy The Man with No Strings, right?
Yes.
And they're too senile to understand how to use my website.
Exactly.
So
that's very true.
What do I do as a comic creator? Because the idea of capturing the youth, not literally, but with comic fandom and having them want to read my books.
But you're not going to be able to catch.
I can answer your question, Phil.
Oh, but hold on, it's cool. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I would like to make a young comic book type thing, but for some reason, all of my works, are pretty gritty, and there's an extent of violence in them, and I don't shy away from like gunshots and gore and stuff like that, because that's what I like,
Yeah, you're the end stage pulp.
Right.
Comic.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. So, but I struggle with that sometimes. I was like, man, I wish I would do something that's geared towards a younger audience, but then that takes away time from the other stuff I'm working on. What do you think of that?
No, it's
Sorry,
dumb.
I didn't understand the last part of your question.
Do I invest in a young audience by
No, it's dumb.
Phil, what was the real reason why CG succeeded in the beginning?
It didn't succeed. Jesus Christ!
Wait, what about my
what world are you living in?
I'm trying to answer your question.
Why did it succeed?
What were people actually investing in?
Oh my God! When people had a shitload of disposable income, they spent it on disposable things.
Sure, but even before,
what was the idea that they found appealing?
A pushback towards things.
It was collective. It was collective entrepreneurialism.
No, it wasn't.
Was it?
Yes, it was. Yeah. People liked the idea of building up.
Oh my God! At what
businesses.
point from 2018 to 2020 can you cite me collective entrepreneurialism?
Yeah, Zach was really. He was. You call Zach whatever you like.
He was a trailblazer.
How many
in this entrepreneurial endeavor?
Here's a great. How many people did your boy Zach promote?
0.
How many
John
people did
Malin.
Ethan promote?
He shouted out Narwhal. Zach did, and he shouted me out once, but
he's the only person willing to work with Mutbar on the planet. Yeah.
Chuck Dixon was talking very highly of him today on John Longbox's channel.
Yeah, they've only talked like once or twice, I think, by letters. I think he only accepts
like written mail letters.
Yeah, like delivered by huskies. You know, out in the tundra.
I don't think that's true. But
I have it on good
I also
authority.
don't think your statement is true. Well, now, how did that correlate to my question? Which was,
would you be investing your time? You should be investing your time in figuring out how to tap into the expanding social experience that people want from these IPs.
Look,
I don't know about that
either. I don't. I'm not adding anything.
All right, I'll wrap it up here. I've caused enough.
All I'm doing is just responding exasperated to your idiotic statements. Well read.
They're all idiotic. I agree.
I'm on TikTok. Follow me, Perth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go follow Phil on whatever format.
I don't know.
Go follow Phil to his mailbox, and get it with a bat, and then cry victim on the internet. That's how you sell comics.
That's the way to go. Here's what you do, folks. If you want to succeed, pretend you're the victim, and then you'll win.
Get catfish.
That's something I'm not good at that though.
Phil
you should
actually
be. Get better.
Do that, but everybody else does, and it works for them.
Phil,
so maybe Phil should try it.
Walk into traffic, pretend to get run over a couple of times.
I have artificially been offended by somebody. I don't know what that
get mad at cashiers, record it on your phone, act like they insulted you because they overcharged you on something.
Yeah.
Like practice. Practice makes perfect here. There you go. Yeah. Chinese spyware is what Perth suggests. So all right. Did anyone learn anything today?
Nope, absolutely nothing.
I learned that
other than I don't really need to do these.
All right, guys. Well, we've chased off the entire panel successfully.
Excellent.
So, thank you, Phil. Your contribution to indie comics. All the beefs are because of Phil. So
including remember when they weren't. There was one time
Phil's actually good people. He produces good books.
Thanks, man. I remember Rob Arnold years ago. He was on with Bancroft, and he's like, "What? Hold on, let me get in my Australian accent. Nar, what? Why is Phil Diaz? Everybody loves him. He's never in beefs with anybody." And that was the beginning of the end, I think.
That was the worst goal because you can't do an Australian accent.
That was pretty good, no?
So yeah,
No.
I'd beef with you over it. Have like a blood feud forever.
Yeah, I'm in a feud with Rob Arnold right now.
I am too. All I did was like just troll him in the chat, and he hates my guts. So does that make any sense? Yeah, we all blame Rob, whack ass. All right, thank you, Phil. Truly appreciate all your efforts, all your work. You're prolific.
I hope to come back on after people get the new issue of the first appearance of The Man with No Strings. You can grab it now on ZAIDcomics.com, and hopefully you guys will review it.
Yeah, you guys, sat in the chat this long. You're obviously invested. So go out and buy Phil's books. What are you doing watching this show for 3 hours and not buying a book?
Yeah,
so there,
it's $10.
Exactly. So 10 viewers, I expect 10 new backers this instance.
It's like $100.
There you go.
Yeah, and we're shipping very quick turnaround time. So after Halloween, we're going to start the fulfillment process.
Perfect. So good to hear it. Thank you, Aldous, very much for all your takes and perspectives. Always appreciate it, and your time. Dylan, in absentia. Brian, hopefully your feelings aren't too hurt. So you'll join us again someday in the future. Otherwise, everybody, have a good night. We will have more views coming up soon. I've also pre-recorded a few with Matt C and Twitless. So look forward to those, and be ready to be equally upset and offended once you see them. So
yeah.
Have a good night.